development of full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With the rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 0 1 1 6
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Friday night, and that means it's show night. That means we're here to talk about all the things. You know what those things are, the things we're not allowed to talk about, the things that become the subject of censorship more and more as each passing day rolls by. You know what those things are? Of course, the government, academia, major corporations, aliens, conspiracy, and the paranormal. All of that wrapped into one. Well, that's what we talk about here. That's what we do. That's what this show's about. And I think to this point, we're almost coming up on 2 years of this show. I'd call it a minor success. I think we've had some pretty damn good conversations. And to me, that's success. That's a good thing. And if even for just a moment, if this show makes you think about something you may not have because of the mainstream, because of the propaganda news cycle, if you think any other way, to me, that's a good thing. That's success. I call it success. And again, made tons of good friends on this show. Like I said, coming up 2 years, pretty proud of that. And here we are again. We're doing it again. It's Friday night, so we have some, you know, per usual. The way this show works is like this. We're gonna do some shout outs. So if you want to shout out, just type in the chat where you're watching from, and we'll shout you out as we go. And then we're going to get into some news, and then we're going to do a topic. And the topic tonight is I just can't stop seeing this everywhere I look. I look at the news cycles, I look at the propaganda, I look what's kind of pouring out here. And it just seems like this pandemic is kind of pushing us over the 1984 edge, the George Orwell edge of things. And there's a lot happening. And we try and keep up with all of it, but it's impossible. But I'm going to maybe make a case tonight that 1984 and George Orwell have arrived and ushered in by the pandemic, the coronavirus, the COVID-19. Anyway, so COVID-19 is not really the topic. There's other things, but again, since it is unprecedented times, there's a couple things we do. We do the show live, so we want to include you. So if you want to tell us what's happening in your neck of the woods with the pandemic and whatnot, with the National Guard, or maybe with groceries, or whatever's happening, the shelters in places, or any of that business, right? We do it live for that reason, because we can't trust what the press tells us. But if we get together and we report truthfully to each other, then we can at least have a boots on the ground assessment from where you're at or where I'm at. And from time to time, I'll update you from Las Vegas. That's where we're streaming from. And that's what it's about. That's what this is all about. And if you want to join this show, super simple. Dial this phone number, 702-957-1037. We don't screen calls. We don't censor anything. If you have criticisms, you're more than welcome. If you have feedback, if you want to talk about whatever, you can talk about pretty much whatever when you call into this show, right? All I ask is you don't derail too hard, and if you do, just keep it short. It's no problem. But that's it. Super simple. 702-957-1037. Go to troubleminds.org. That's the official website. You can also click on the Discord link, and that's also up on the website there. And it's a chat client and a voice client, and it's how we've done this show in the past with guests and guest hosts and everything else. So it actually does work. We've tested it. Thank you, Ash, if you're out there, for spending a couple hours the other night with me and testing this thing. So I think everything should be working. I think the phone line should be up. I think Discord should be working. So anyway, blah blah blah. Let's do it, shall we? Let's do it. Let's start with Todd. Todd from Kentucky. How you doing? Gets first on Facebook. We got Noble Cal L, always consistent, first on Mixer and hosting us. Appreciate that. Says love the intro. Thank you. I love that you're here and ready the tinfoil hat with us. And thank you again to Noble Cal L for boosting the Discord server. Very good stuff for heightened Discord functionality. Definitely good. And again, can't thank you enough for that. We got Elijah. It's Elijah, I think, on Twitch. The L's and the I's are mixing up. Maybe I can't see anymore. What's up? Thanks for being here. Then we got Versacede on Twitch as well. I don't know if I said that right. Probably didn't. Then we got a close second on Facebook was Gregory. What's happening, my man? Here we go again. He says, Diane, close third. Thanks for being here. Lisa, good evening. John says, did we talk about the black comet that's 5 times the size of frickin' Jupiter cruising through our solar system yet? No, we haven't. But that's fake news. just so you know. If you want to talk about that, you're welcome. Please call up and we'll talk about that. Justin, thanks for being here tonight. We got Paul from Iowa. We got let's see, who else? Nikki, hello. We got Julio. Big Brother is watching us. Hell yeah, he is. We got Todd. Let's see, Phillips in Southern Oregon. How you doing, my man? We got Kelly. We got Darius Moo from Kentucky. How you doing, buddy? Cattle abduction is what he's talking about there, or cattle mutilation, I'm sorry. Dan, how you doing tonight? Haven't watched in a minute. Hope everyone's safe. Yes, hope you're safe as well. Stay safe, etc. so on. Kurt, thanks for being here. We got Joe from Florida. Let's see, who else? Todd says virus-free here. Congratulations. Keep it that way. Please keep it that way. Larry, what's up? How you doing? Sherry, hello. Thanks for being here tonight. We got, who else? Todd, Joe, Nino, what's up? Thanks for being here. Let's see. Gregory says, planting my garden is my update. Best to do the same yourselves. There you go. That's sound advice, guys. If you have room for a garden, maybe it's time. John of John and Ohio. How you doing, my man? And another John ordered Domino's tonight. I didn't follow whatever no contact rule they had, and I didn't understand it. And I freaked the driver out by handing them a tip and not letting them just drop my food on the sidewalk and run away. Apparently, I was supposed to just drop it out on the sidewalk and take off before I came out. Yeah, see, I mean, again, right? Orwellian, right? A little bit weird. Social distancing. You think that's a doublethink term? You think that's a newspeak? What is that? What's going on with that? We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. Let's see. Who else? Kelly, if you're not living in the edge, then you're taking up too much space. Amen, brother. We got Cody. Hello from Taps. Thanks for being here tonight. We got Brian from Scotland. We got Bill from Wisconsin. Jesse from Alberta. We love our Canadians. We got Jason. Why is it we can't see you guys talking? Let's say we want to remain anonymous. How about that? That's why you can't see us talking. Let's see. John from Kentucky, how you doing? And Justin, the comet is real. It's visible this month without a telescope. It poses no threat to Earth. Okay, so the thing on that comet, what I read, is that it says it's 5 times the size of Jupiter or the sun, or it's something ridiculous like that. It's supposedly huge, but that's the glint off of the comet. Like it's not the comet itself. The comet's not that big. So that's what I read. If you guys have heard other things, you can call and correct me on that. That's what I heard. What's up, Shape Karen 89? How you doing? Have you tried PR on Twitch Viewer? Yeah, wow, the spammers are hot and heavy tonight. What's up? What's up, spammers on Twitch? I see you there. I see you. Only show up to pawn your goods. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Marketing's a thing. Okay, so that's what's up tonight. Again, if you guys want to be part of the show, we're going to be talking about Orwell in 1984 and maybe Doublethink and Newspeak and the memory hole and things of this nature. And how is that? How does it apply today? Is this has COVID-19 tipped the car over into 1984 land? Are we there? Has it arrived? I think it's something we should keep an eye on. And yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. So, okay, let's get started with the news. And again, if you want to be part of the show, one more time, 702-957-1037, or join the Discord and go to troubleminds.org, the official website. Find the phone number there on the top right, and also the Discord link. So I think that catches us up. John says, it's best you guys stay hidden. Thank you. I kind of agree. Just because you never know. You never know who's out there, right? You never know who's going to be like, holy shit, Michael Strange is my neighbor, and I'm going to do something to his car. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know. People are a little bit out there sometimes. So, okay, let's see. Paul says the core is supposed to be 1 to 2 miles. So I've heard of that comment. Okay. Again, that's not part of our news tonight. But again, if you guys want to talk about it, I'm definitely open to talking about that. And if you want to drop a link for that, we can pull it up and talk about that as we go. So it's no problem. Let's start with this. Let's start with some other stuff, some other lights in the sky business. So this is reported by... Who is this? The dailystar.co.uk, one of our favorites, right? Tabloid style or whatever you want to call them. But this is the headline reads, multiple witnesses see strange row of lights in the sky from California to Mexico. And viewers have suggested that the mystery lights could be anything from alien UFOs to Elon Musk's Starlink satellites. Well, we got a video here, so let's watch this video and see what you think. Again, I don't have answers. I have questions, much like many of you, and we're just here trying to figure stuff out. So let's take a look at this video. This is brand new from a couple days ago, and from California to Mexico. Let's play this action. So this is from a YouTube, the Hidden Underbelly 2.0, and it appears to be 4 lights, just kind of, and then a 5th light kind of lights up on the right side.
Light came on at the end.
They seem to be in a straight line, left to right to left, vertical plane here, or sorry, horizontal plane here, and it's they're just doing their thing. They're kind of floating out there. Here's another YouTube from Mexico, seeing the exact same thing from a different angle here. They seem to be kind of changing color from like a white to like a reddish. Maybe flickering a little bit. Here's another one, a third YouTube channel. They count 7 instead of just a 5, so there's actually more that have lit up again. And in the horizontal plane, they just look like they're straight across here. There's something a little bit weird. So again, this just happened, guys. This is a couple days ago. This was California and Mexico. And seen all over the place down there. If anybody lives out in that direction, did you guys get a chance to see this? Did you hear about this? Has it been censored? What do you think? This looks very, to me, it looks less ET and more maybe some sort of military project. It's hard to say. But again, I'm no expert, just a guy on the internet with a microphone. So what do you think? What does that look like? So here we go. So the article continues. A line of unusual lights has been spotted hovering in the night sky, with witnesses for both the U.S. and Mexico claiming to have seen them. Several witnesses have shared their videos online, which we just saw a few of those. And one video posted to the Mutual UFO Network, everybody, MUFON, you remember that? MUFON? Yeah. Shows 4 orbs appearing to change color above Laguna Beach in California. Another light then appears
stated,
as the objects...
This is the only account
what the hell?
Of the 2 now lost pyramids
Hey. Autoplay. Stop. Okay, so another light that appears. We saw that some 80 miles down the coast. Another video emerged of the same site over San Diego. So we're talking L.A., San Diego, and into Mexico is where these things were sighted. Anybody out in that neck of the woods that saw these things? And what do you think? Does it appear to be something alien or maybe Starlink satellites, like they said, from Elon Musk? Remember, he's trying to put satellites up to give the world internet or whatever it is, whatever the hell's going on up there? Or is this some sort of military project? Again, right, it's always on the table. Is this there could be UFOs, sure, it could be. I'm open to that as well. But I don't know. It seems to be very uniform, like no crazy fast moving things or disappearing from the night sky, at least that I saw. So anyway, what do you think? There we go. I thought it was important to maybe point out some of the UFO stuff that's happening out there that maybe it isn't being reported. So this was reported April 2nd, 2020. So this just happened. This just went down. There you go. What do you guys think? Do you think it's whatever that is, or do you think it's something else entirely? You think it's aliens? Aliens. You guys know the aliens. Let's see. What else we got newswise? You see what I did there? Holy crap. One more time. What do you think about that? Give me a call, 702-957-1037. That's the phone number, and we don't screen calls. You'll just get it right on the show. Join the Discord. Go to troubleminds.org. You can find both, and there it is. Let's see. Let's check some chat. Let's see. Talking about doing stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Kurt says 5 lights in the sky. That's God, I guess. Is that what you're saying? That's God somehow. Paul says reminds me of the Phoenix Lights, and it does. It kind of looks a little bit, less triangle and more. But it. You would think that it has enough notoriety and sighting from LA all the way down to Mexico that it maybe is an event that large, like the Phoenix Lights. Who knows? Again, if anybody's down there in California, you see this or have heard of it, let me know. Love to hear from you. A few more shout outs. Carol from Ontario, thanks for showing up. We got Bill, thanks for being here. We got Michelle and Larry, thanks for showing up tonight, guys. And let's see. Let's keep on moving. Let's see. Elijah on Twitch says, I saw a video of that. The truth is out there. All right. I guess we're here. We're here trying to find it. The truth is a funny thing. A slippery fish, as I always say, right? Okay. So what are we doing? There we go. All right. So there's the first one. Here's another one. This is again COVID-19 related. But remember, now this is the thing. How often have I been saying since January actually that there's something suspicious about this virus going around? That for some reason, people that are experts in infectious diseases are still catching this, and we don't really know why, right? Remember, like I said, how do people with, at least in the beginning of this when it was spreading like crazy, like that doctor in China, the first initial whistleblower, right? He ended up dying from this thing. So how do doctors that are like, people that are actually professionals in dealing with an infectious disease somehow catch it anyway? Like I said, I've been saying all along, there's something suspicious about this, the way it's being transmitted from person to person, right? But here's maybe some enlightening news if you guys haven't heard this, and I'm sure you haven't because the news isn't worth a shit. I'll tell you that. But here we go. This is reported by Dr. Ding on Eric Ding on Twitter, and follow this guy if you haven't. It's at Dr. Eric Ding, D-I-N-G. And so check this out. Hats off to Iceland, he says, the testing world leader for COVID-19, right? Per capita, of course, because they're a small population country. Iceland is also the country that discovered 50% of all COVID cases were asymptomatic. You follow that? 50% of cases with no symptoms is an insanely surreal number that highlights how hard it is to contain this epidemic, says Eric Ding here. So Dr. Ding. And look at this. So per capita, Iceland is way ahead, and they're testing people like crazy. And look what's happening. 50% of cases are asymptomatic. So you have healthy people walking around all over the place like, oh, I feel fine, no fever, no cough, no anything. And this thing is still infectious as hell. And so it's still spreading because people are sick, people are infected, and don't even know they have it. And 50% of all cases, that's an unbelievably big number. And if that's the case, well, how are we going to stamp this out? Is this hopefully this is not true. Or maybe it is, I have no idea. So think about that. Maybe many of us have already had this. It's passed through us and we had no freaking idea. Is that terrifying? That's terrifying to me. Because then we're passing it on to everybody else, aren't we? And yeah, it's not good. That is not good. Let's see. What else do we got? Larry's still kicking. Keep on kicking, buddy. Keep on kicking. Stay safe. Dan says, haven't really seen UFO stuff floating around the interweb lately. Yeah, you know why? because they're propaganda mode for COVID-19, right? Stay inside. Wash your hands. What's up, Elizabeth? Thanks for showing up tonight. Let's see. Kurt says, yes, 5 lights is God's covenant in the middle and his 4 arc protectors. God doesn't need a platform. Ezekiel chapter 1. Okay, fair enough. So those you're saying those lights in the sky have something to do with God. All right. I'd love to hear more if you want to give us a call. Let's see. Paul says, I think it's a cover up for something else. Yeah, you know what? We did a cover up show a couple back, right? We talked about the cashless society and the stuff they're trying to jam into these bills and not tell us. Yeah, there's something going on for sure. Dan says, I think COVID-19 is a 5G cover up. Just watch something where the radiation of 5G towers is messing people up. Who knows? I did a video on that as well. On the I'm not sure about the direct link, but it seems that maybe they say 5G kind of messes with the cellular integrity of mammals, and then causes us to be a little more inflammation in the body and a little more susceptible to something like COVID-19. So that's what was the at least my short conclusion from digging into a couple things, looking at a couple doctors talking about it. Yeah, but there we go. We should be on YouTube. Yeah, is YouTube broken? Are we not streaming on YouTube? So Cedric says no YouTube tonight. I don't know. Maybe we're not. I wondered where the YouTube crowd was. I think maybe we're not streaming on YouTube then. Hold on. Let me check real quick. Let's see what's going on here. Thanks for pointing that out. I never really know until we actually go live because, well, technology breaks. But let's see. It says, it says sending data still. So this is what happened to Facebook a couple times ago. So it's still trying to hook up and sync, but it's not actually going. So yeah, YouTube seems to be broken for the time being. I don't think we're banned, so that's good. That's good. But so thanks for pointing that out. I think it should probably come up shortly. That's what happened last time to Facebook because all the internet traffic, people working from home, all kinds of other stuff. So Bill says that there's like 50K people in Iceland. Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit easier to control, right, when you have a smaller population like that. But still, so they're testing the hell out of people and finding that 50% is asymptomatic, and it's still infectious as hell. So pretty terrifying, right? Philip says, honestly, I didn't get a notification for YouTube. Yeah, so there it is. I guess YouTube's broken for the time being. Okay, so we got a phone call. We're going to take this call, and we'll move on with the news. But what do you guys think about that? So the lights in the sky, Kurt thinks it's something to do with God here, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else entirely. Maybe this is aliens. Maybe this is some sort of military satellites. Remember, what are the age-old standards? Weather balloons, right? Swamp gas, ball lightning, right? That all the normal stuff, all the UFO tropes. So maybe it's any of those things, right? Or is it something else entirely? I leave that up to you. I'm not telling you the answers. I'm just looking at stuff and asking questions with you. So give me a call. Let me know what you think. And we're going to go talk to Joe in Florida here and see what's happening in his neck of the woods. What's up, Joe? From Florida. You are on Troubled Minds with Mike. How you doing, my man? What's on your mind tonight?
Good evening, guys. How are you tonight? Nobody calls. I mean, some shows I know a ton of people call, and I just figured maybe I'll break the ice and some people will call in. Usually I'm out on a Friday night. I think a lot of us might be out or missing our routines. As far as the lights, I actually did see part of that. I always question those things when you don't see them disappear or the video doesn't play till the end, which always makes me wonder if it's paratroopers, which I doubt on this one, drones, in formation. I know they do that in China with graphics and things like that. Or still unexplained. So I want to believe. I know we've all seen something. It's just that in this day and age with digital things, drones, and all kinds of other stuff, it's kind of hard to tell what's really not from here and what's kind of terrestrial. So that's one thing on that. I don't know if you read my comment. I think you did on whatever it is on the Discord that I put the other night, because I was just trying to think ahead, not to doom porn anybody. But what I always worry about now is after this virus is over, some kind of an attack or a hack on our infrastructure. meaning that all we need now is for somebody to turn off the lights. And we know that this is true because other people have brought this up as far as on the EM Pulse, but in smaller scale, we know that local municipalities have been hijacked for ransomware from a group of hackers, and that they have to pay the money. It would be real easy for a foreign actor to go ahead and do that to us while we're down and while we're dealing with this and while the economy is limping along. That's what kind of scares me. And while we see all the news about the virus, I'm kind of curious to know if any military maneuvers are going on among third world, not third world, but other party actors that don't like us, i.e. Russia and China. And the host of anybody else.
I think that's the craziest part, right? So once you have just the very beginning of like a breakdown in society, the vulnerabilities are everywhere, literally everywhere. You think about the non-essential, like it's happening in the military as well, right? The military and the three-letter alphabet agencies. It's like they're not superhuman. They can still catch this, and it can still like wreak havoc in their ranks. And so not just here, other places in the world, right? So this is definitely a time where we need to be on guard. I agree with you 100%, right? Think if we did get some sort of like a debilitating hack that hit our energy grid, like we would be super screwed, because then hospitals are going down, right? Like power to hospitals. Yep. I mean, super screwed. Yep. So I mean, yeah, I agree with you 100%, and that's why, right? That's why we've been talking about this always. It's the level of stability in our what would you say, our civilization is very, very volatile.
Our Western society.
Yeah. All society. All society. It's shaky. It's shaky at best. It's an illusion that there's some sort of a stability there. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine, man. Because I'm a funeral director for crying out loud, but my degree is basically in history and, a little bit of poli-sci. Maybe I should have gone into politics. I don't know. I just don't have the heart to be cold-hearted. And, I always think of Mark Twain. It's, you stare into the abyss, and when you stare into it long enough, it looks back at you. So you become the evil that you swear that you don't want to. So I think that most of us that are on here listening, we're all good people. We're all probably kind-hearted, but we're all prepping. And we're all probably a little bit prepared than the people that hoard toilet paper. At least that's what I have to hope with everybody listening here. But if any one of us, I think, would have a chance at power, I don't think we'd ever get there because, first of all, I don't think any of us would be totally evil enough. And I have a feeling that some people that go with the best intentions end up being turned into the machine that they swear they're not going to be. And that's why we just have bureaucracy, terrible, terrible bureaucracy. I mean, I'll give you an example, and it's not a great one, but that CV boat captain, that carrier captain, okay, yeah, I understand. My military friend said he did wrong and he broke protocol because our enemies know that boat is, there's sick people in the military. But here's the thing. It would be automatically assumed that there's sick people in the military. So, yeah, but here's the other thing. That captain may have gone out and pleaded, but knew already that bureaucracy, that politicians were going to make that decision, not military personnel, okay, because people's egos are on the line. I had it happen today at work. Literally at work today, we had a phone call from my prep room from the embalmers. I'm not a manager, I'm just a peon, okay? And my prep room, they didn't have any masks to do the embalmings. And not that we've gotten COVID cases yet, we've gotten a lot of suspected. There's about 300 in the county right now, but we've been able to kind of dodge that for now. And I will give you some other things that are going on in the county here where I'm at, in Florida near Clearwater Beach. But when my office manager got off the phone, I basically told her, I said, that's not your duty. I said, our district manager is stuck in his high tower because they basically told my district manager, you're not the front line, you need to sit back. So they're not leaders. I mean, I've never had respect for them. And I'll probably get fired tomorrow if they listen to the show. So she calls the district manager and tells the district manager, hey, we got no masks. So he can't answer. He's like, well, we ordered them. We don't know when they're coming in. And here's the thing. We loan our parking lot out to a walk-in clinic, a daycare walk-in clinic that's right next door. You know, and I always kind of fuck with the nurses because sometimes I'll be coming back from lunch and I'll give like a nurse my card and I'll be like, hey, if you guys lose anybody, send them next door. It's always a running joke with me. But they know me. So today, when we got a shitty answer and my guys weren't going to be able to do their work safely, I call next door and I say, hey, can you guys spare us about a dozen masks? Just surgical, not 95s, whatever you got. They're like, yeah, no problem. So I get the masks and I run them over to the prep room in the car. Later on that day, we have an appointment. We have a meeting. My big boss comes in and we have a meeting because they're finally deciding to officially like limit hours and limit our exposure to families, because it's not the dead, it's the living you worry about. I mean, we had a lady jump in her car from New York and got to the state line, and she got told she had to wait 14 days because they were putting blockades here and there. So that's a whole nother ball of wax. But anyway, my boss comes in to read the rules, and he's like, well, what happened with the prep room? And I turn around and I'm like, I got some masks for them. And instead of getting a thank you, instead of getting anything, I got this look. And he tells me, well, were they N95s? I go, no, they weren't. He goes, well, they needed N95s. I go, well, I got what they got them, which were surgical masks. I didn't get I apologized to him. I'm like, well, I'm sorry if I made anybody look bad. I didn't get a thank you.
What?
I didn't get anything.
Wait.
Bureaucracy.
You realize?
Bureaucracy.
Yeah, well, it's stupid because clearly, I mean, N95 masks at this point are gold, and they're nearly impossible to get, right? They're becoming more and more available, but they go to the straight to the hospitals, right? Like that's what they're supposed to be. Then, and think about the propaganda, right? Remember, like it was like 3 weeks ago or a month ago that they were reporting. The WHO was reporting, the World Health Organization, and we were getting people from inside this country tweeting, like actually saying, hey, putting out press releases that, hey, don't buy masks because they don't really help anyway, right? Remember that?
It's back and forth. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But here's the thing. We're funeral directors. It's in the lungs. It's in the lungs. I mean, when I used to cremate people that might have had MRSA, okay, MRSA was a big one. MRSA stays on the body. Right? We used to cremate people that had MRSA. We'd fucking douse that bag in Lysol, or disc spray, our version of Lysol. We douse it down in Lysol. I mean, you use universal precautions for everybody. But you got to remember, I'm at the end of the line. I see the end result of stupidity, no masks. Here's the thing, okay? It went back and forth, and you're exactly right, probably because they didn't want to panic anybody. But for crying out loud, there's people that are listening to this show right now, you included, that hosted it, had to believe, like you said, there's something else going on. That something else going on is that it's aerialized. I mean, today on the news here in Clearwater, okay, my mom heard, I didn't hear it, but there was an article, not an article, there was a news story. I'd like to see if I can get it. It was about all the people at Clearwater Beach. And they said, could the coronavirus have been in every wave that you got splashed on in the water? And I've got my hot tub. I make sure it's full of bromine. But that's what they're saying now. So I didn't get to hear that story, so I don't want to start a rumor, but it was in the news. What happens if it was in the ocean water? And here's the thing that nobody really knows if you don't live here. Last year, we had parasites in the water, and people were dying. People that had cuts, they had a vibrio vulnificus, I think was the name of the bacteria, and they were getting it because the water is so warm. That was just a bacteria, not a virus, a bacteria that was resistant. So that was living in the ocean, and you were getting it at the beach. So like last year, when we went to the beach, we just stayed in the pool and stayed at the hotel. So I'm just saying, if that can happen, okay, then yes, something else is going on. It's obviously airborne. It's obviously airborne. There's videos of it. Telling people not to get masks, it's either because they want more people to get sick. I don't know. I don't know what that would be for, because you're not going to get enough people sick to really lower the population. But maybe you want to get rid of some old people. I don't know. Or did you not just want to create a panic because you needed to get these stocks and supplies in?
Yeah, I think again, I think it's a little more linear than that. I think what happened was they initially just flat out lied to us and said, well, masks don't help anyway because a virus can get through everything but the N95s, right? And so they were saying this because they didn't want a run on masks, so they could save them for the medical professionals, which is fine. But you're still flat out lying to us, right? And then now, weeks later, when they realize, well, shit, this would really help if people started wearing them, So now they're telling people to make their own damn masks, right? It's like,
and I had to make it. Well, here's the humdinger with my boss. See, I'm sorry, but I get in the car with him because I had to go pick up the hearse, right? So we got to go pick up the hearse. I got my mask on, and when we get in the car, he had his own fucking handmade mask, and I'm saying to myself, I'm looking at him and I'm like, this mother effer. I said, you got your embalmers over there, and you had your own, because I've made my own mask. My daughter and I'm not good at sewing, but I finally sewed a decent one, and I put 2 HEPA vacuum filters in it, and I had Tyvek wrap left from my house when I did vinyl siding, and I made it so that you could take it out, and it's supposed to be close to N95, but now I feel like making 5 or 6 of those masks for my embalmers just to make this asshole look bad. While we had the meeting, and this is going to be important for the rest of the people listening, I told them, I says, listen, when this abates in a couple of months, you need to keep getting supplies. And he's like, well, how come? And I said, because they're saying that if this is like the flu from 1918, the flu reemerged in the fall.
Yep.
Everybody that's listening to the show needs to listen to that.
The double hump, they call it.
The flu reemerged in the fall.
Yep.
And my other boss looks at me and he just kind of cracks up. And I'm like, you guys are and I'm thinking, everybody's being totally reactionary instead of being proactive. Everything that you've seen in D.C. and in Washington, okay, we've all just become bureaucrats. And it's disgusting when most of us here just want to go to work and live our lives and not have to deal with this shit day in and day out. If this doesn't change the country, if the rest of us, the millennials, the Gen Xers like myself, if the rest of us just don't get up and protest in even the minorest of ways,
yeah, terrible.
We have ourselves to blame.
Terrible.
We
got
have
some
ourselves
good...
to blame going into night.
Agreed. And so again, pay attention, people. Be prepared, because even though, let's say, it eases up in the summer months, it's not beat, because it's going to come back. The second time it comes back will be the actual flu season. We're talking September, November, December. And so that's the time. It's probably going to be more ugly. So even if this shelter in place it eases off for even let's say 4 to 6 weeks in the heat of summer, it's coming back, and it's coming back more fierce, because usually that second hump, that second what do they say, the second curve, that one is a nasty one. So again, be prepared, guys. This is the time. So don't think that don't listen to what they're telling you, basically, and saying that well, just think about it. That first they said 2 weeks, then they said a month, now they're saying 6 weeks, now right? Like, just think about it. They don't know what the hell's going on. If they did, they would have better information, more solid information, and more timely, and they don't. They just don't. And so here we are trying to figure it out on our own, trying to guess on our own. And again, we as a community, we're talking about this shit the first week of January, right? What were they doing? They were trying to impeach the president. Like, okay, like, good job. Slang in politics as usual, these stupid people. And clearly there was alarming information coming out of China that nobody touched. The media barely tickled it. The politicians ignored it, doing the same stupid, like, kindergarten games they always play, when they should have had their eye on the ball. And that's the whole point here. That's the whole point. Any final thoughts there? We got to move on, Joe.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I just hope that everybody stays safe. Me and my family included. You guys, everybody else's family, stay safe. Look around the curve if you can. Keep in mind that any supplies that you do get, they don't have an expiration date. So God forbid we get hit again. Have some masks. Take care of yourselves. And I would say if it's the second time around, have some. I'm not a big gun nut, but I would tell you to have some weapons ready, because if there is going to be a second hump, they're not going to be able to print enough money to get us out of it fast enough.
Yep, I agree. Before you go, real quick.
I don't mean to. Yeah.
Before you go, Dan on Facebook says you did a good thing, guy. F your boss, talking about bringing the masks over for your people. So agreed, like they're still doing the right thing. Just wanted to point that out, say it so everybody could hear it, because you did the right thing.
Thank you.
You did the right thing.
Thank you. I don't want to doom porn. I hate doom porn. I hate it because I got kids, but I don't want to doom porn anybody. But you're just going to have to look out, and we all know that. On that note, good night, and I'll be with you guys for a little bit longer because I do have to go to work tomorrow to hopefully an empty office for 3 or 4 hours and get home. So.
All right. Prayers. God bless. Be safe. Thanks for the call, my man. Thanks for the call. You're doing the right thing out there.
Problem. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Have a good night. That's Joe from Florida, our local Troubled Minds funeral director. And again, he's on the front lines here. He's dealing with some of these bodies. He gets cases of this. People come in that have passed away from this or something similar. And like how frightening is that? That's pretty scary stuff. So God bless you, man. Prayers for you and your family. Stick with it. Do your thing and stay safe. Appreciate all the work you do. Again, I call it the invisible process. I say this quite often when he calls because lots of things happen in this world that nobody really thinks about. They just, like your garbage disappears, right, from your curb. But you don't think think about the process that goes into it, like these types of things. So anyway, yeah, definitely pay attention, keep your eye on the ball because the politicians are not. They're still playing petty politics at this point, and this is not the time for it. It's unfortunate that the media is still playing games. It's all terrible and unfortunate. Thanks for the call, man. Joe, you're the best. Elisha wants to know what happened to Ash. Ash will be around from time to time. He's working on a parallel similar project. So stay tuned. He's going to be putting out some content that's similar, a little more alien centric, and he'll be on the show from time to time as well. So he's just working on something else. You'll see. So stay tuned. Join the Discord if you have not, because he's pretty active on there, and he teased a video that he's making coming up pretty soon talking about 5G. He got some kind of meter, like a 5G radiation meter, and he's going to make some videos about that type of stuff. So, and aliens and everything else. So, yeah, join the Discord if you have not. You can find Ash in there, and there we go. He will be around. He hasn't gone forever. He hasn't vanished, Frank. Don't worry, don't worry. Okay, so there it is. A couple great comments here, and this. You guys are spot on here. Let's see. What's up, Mark? Thanks for showing up tonight. Let's see. Kurt says, yeah, who makes the most N95 masks? That's right, a company called 3M. And them traders were selling N95s to foreign nations before us in the United States for more money. All about profit. Yep. And again, Trump pointed it out. Like, he made him look like a bunch of clowns. It's like, come on, guys. Like, there's a time to do the right thing and there's a time to make the money, And right now, if you have to take the hit, take the hit. Do well for your common man, for crying out loud, right? Do we really have to talk about what's right and what's not right? You know what I mean? Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. What's up? Kurt says the CDC let those 200 initial repatriates from China loose out of Alaska after 3 days of quarantine. Not Trump. CDC has been committing sedition repeatedly. Yeah, the CDC is terrible. Who is worse? It's been bad. It's been bad. What's up, Candy? Thanks for showing up. Sean, I've just finished my Costco list with the wife. Well, welcome. Thanks for showing up. Sean, our favorite Canadian. Okay, here we go. Let's keep moving with the news here. I've got a couple things. We're going to get to Orwell tonight. We're going to get to 1984 and some of the things that are happening that might be alarming, that might be related, that might be parallel to George Orwell in the book he wrote, the Dystopia in 1984. Like, this theme just keeps recurring every time I have to read the news. I'm like, holy shit. Telescreens, doublethink, thought crimes. That's it. It's what's happening. It's yeah. So there we go. So last news, if you guys are just joining us, you didn't hear, Iceland has discovered that 50% of cases with no symptoms, 50% of the COVID cases are asymptomatic, actually. 50% of the cases. So that's why this is so dangerous. And that's why, like I said, I've been saying all along, there's something suspicious about the way this thing is transmitted. And it's because people are walking around with this and have no idea they have it. That's what's going on. So again, right, there's something smells suspicious, and that's what it is. That's what's going down. Here's another one, right? I thought this was pretty cool. This is reported by the Daily JSTOR. A look back into history here. Let's see, linking it as usual. You guys can always follow up on my links. I always put them on YouTube, so I'm not making this shit up. You can find it yourself. Yeah, there we go. That's what transparency is. I tell you where I got the source, and I give you the link, right? So here we go. So this is reported by JSTOR Daily, and so when New Yorkers burned down a quarantine hospital. So on September 1st, 1858, a mob stormed the New York Marine Hospital in Staten Island and set fire to the building, right? So this is nothing new. They used to quarantine people in particular areas, and of course everybody was like, "Get that shit away from me." And yeah, so let's read just a little bit of this and we'll move on because we're a little long. Thanks for the call there, Joe. Appreciate that. Again, if anybody wants to call, we have time for you. We do have time for you. It's no problem. It's no problem. This is our show. We don't have commercials we have to dodge or try and squeeze you in. If we have to go long, we have to go long. That's just the way of it. So we have time. If you want to call 702-957-1037, join the Discord by going to troubledminds.org, the official website. You can find the phone number and the Discord link there, and there we go. So here we go. Okay. Quarantines are one of humanity's oldest defenses against infectious disease, according to public health scholar Catherine Stevenson. They also remain one of the most controversial instruments of public health, raising questions of individual civil liberties and communal responsibility, right? And I'm going to recite that last sentence again. Read it one more time slowly. So, quarantines are controversial because they raise questions of individual civil liberties and communal responsibility, right? That's the whole point. Like, that's where we're at right now. And so this is not new. This goes back again to 1858 is when this thing was. September 1st, 1858. They stormed the hospital. They burned down. So, okay, so the state-sponsored New York Marine Hospital, familiarly called the Quarantine, that's what they called this place, opened in 1799. It was located on the northeast shore of Staten Island, just a little south of where the Staten Island ferry terminal is today. If anybody's out that way, you know exactly where we're talking about. The spot was picked because it was relatively isolated but offered easy access to the harbor. Blah, blah, so on and so forth. So what happened is, of course, a mob, having prepared for days in advance, stormed the walls and set fire to buildings on the night of September 1st. Shots were fired. 2 people died that night. The local fire companies arrived but said their horses were cut. With nothing to stop them, Staten Islanders returned the next night to burn down what was left. So, right? Fear. Look at this mob rule. Like this. These are the types of things, I want to point this out. These are the types of things that start happening when people are frightened, when you get mob rule, right? You want a pure democracy? This is what you get, right? So as much as you hate gridlock, as much as I hate gridlock in the government, this right here is democracy. And where the mob shows up with torches and pitchforks and they just burn that sucker down. Anyway, I didn't know this was a thing. It popped up on my newsfeed. I was like, oh, sweet. So I thought we'd take a turn down history lane. And unfortunately, this is in New York where this country's been hit the hardest. So anyway, just a cool little what would you call it? A U-turn, a side street, let's say. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at this. Let's go back to aliens, right? We started with UFOs this show. Let's talk about aliens tonight. A little bit about aliens. This is reported by RT.com, which of course is Russia Today, right? Russia. If everybody's been paying attention to that, well, if nobody's paying attention to that because that's the media is no longer interested. But anyway, Russia Today. Here we go. Headline: Scientists say invisible aliens live among us. Revolutionary discovery or proof? Sorry, I'm Russian here. Revolutionary discovery or proof that too many useless academics live among us. Right? Tongue in cheek. Right? Too many useless academics live among us. Yeah. So this has actually been reported before that aliens could be here, right? There we go. Just because we can't see them, the article says, as unlikely as this may sound to firm believers in the infallible rationality of our highest learning and research institutions, numerous scientists do believe there's a chance we may be walking among aliens. In fact, things are even weirder than this because these same scientists believe that these aliens are invisible, undetectable to our 5 senses and to conventional methods of detection. Which again, right, we've long speculated, who knows, are they interdimensional? If they came here, and we can do cloaking devices now, probably with our own technology, who knows what DARPA's doing? Of course, if these guys want to be invisible, they can be invisible, right? Like that's basics to me. That's basics. Anyway, so I just wanted to point this out. Funny how Russia Today is poking holes on the academics. I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, here we go. Let's keep moving here. This goes up all the way back, right? Fitting that we're almost 2 years on this show. When we first started this show, Frank was still here. I don't know where Frank's at. God bless you, buddy, out there. Prayers for you. If you're in trouble, blink twice. Send Morse code if you need help. But so anyway, 2 years ago, episode 2, when we first started this damn show, it was about next week. Next week will be 2 years. But Frank was actually talking about the soil on the moon, the regolith, I believe it's called. Regolith? I'm not sure how you say it. But it's the soil there. He said that it's like quickcrete. It's chemically identical to quickcrete. And if you just add water, you could make concrete easily. And so you have frozen water on the poles and in different places on the moon. Like the more we study the moon, the more we realize there's a ton of water up there, mostly frozen, but it's still there. And then they have this the moon dust, basically, that you can just turn into concrete, right? 2 years ago, we were saying this. Here we go. This is March 31st, 2020. The study from arstechnica.com. Future astronauts could use their own urine to help build moon bases. And of course, urea could serve as plasticizer for making concrete-like material out of lunar soil. Again, right? Like, is this new? Did these guys just figure this shit out? I just don't know. I don't know. Like, again, right? If we were talking about this shit 2 years ago, why do these news cycles just regurgitate this BS? Because, suddenly urine is the new miracle project on the moon when there's water up there? You know what I mean? Like, sure, sustainability, fine. You want to use the piss for something good, fine, right? I mean, but for crying out loud, there's water up there, guys. But anyway, you get the point. It's like people write these articles for clicks. This is not new. This news is not new, and so they're like, I know, we'll add urine, and it's a news story again. Well, maybe it was never a news story. Maybe Frank was ahead of his time when he actually looked at the chemical compositions. I don't know where he got it from, but they're proving it. Like, here we go. The media is catching up. 2 years later, you dicks. Yeah, YouTube is not working, Todd. I have no idea why. It's again, we had a problem with Facebook a couple streams ago, so it's tons of internet traffic. Everybody's stuck at home, so things aren't working properly. So I don't think it's something to do with our channel or being banned or anything like that. But it was what it is. So if it may just pop online randomly. It happened last time with Facebook. So anyway, we're just going to roll without it. I checked, and it looks like it's trying to connect, and it's just not connecting. Okay, so anyway, there we go. So future astronauts could use their own urine to help build moon bases, right? Or you could just use the frozen water up there too, just FYI. Okay, anyway, here we go. A couple more real fast, and we'll get into 1984 and George Orwell, and maybe how some of that applies to what's going on right now in world politics, not just stateside. We're talking about world politics and how people are using this pandemic to grab power, right? So anyway, here we go. This is reported by sciencemag.org, and this is pretty cool. So everything we know about life in the cosmos, right, is think about it in the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It's always like, okay, well, we need an Earth-sized planet. It needs to be in the habitable zone, the Goldilocks zone, they call it, right, where it's not too warm, it's not too cold, just close enough to the sun to melt ice, but not close enough where it evaporates it. The Goldilocks zone, right? No problem. But check this out. So sciencemag.org reports, no star, no problem. Radioactivity could make otherwise frozen planets habitable, right? So it says radioactive isotopes such as uranium-238, thorium-232, and potassium-40 pepper Earth's crust and mantle. As these unstable radionuclides decay, they generate a small amount of power, roughly 1/30,000th that receive from the sun. But researchers have now proposed that some planets, particularly ones that form near the center of our Milky Way galaxy, might possess enough of these radioactive isotopes to generate sufficient heat to keep their surfaces from freezing entirely solid. So, quote, that gives you freedom to be anywhere. It says Avi Loeb, who, of course, is a Oumuamua fame and a Harvard guy that astrophysicist at Harvard here, that isn't scared to speculate that aliens might be in many more places than we expect. So he says that you don't need to be close to a star. So I thought that was pretty hot, pretty cool. Got pretty hot, right? Wink, wink, haha. But neat, right? So now we suddenly have this academia finally realizes, oh, well, shit. Maybe there's life in places we never expected. Oh, congratulations, guys. Okay, anyway, here we go. So one more, and then we're going to keep on moving here. So this is reported by Yahoo, and then we're gonna get into 1984, and some scary stuff that might be happening. Okay, reported by Yahoo, suspected SARS virus and flu samples found in luggage. An FBI report describes China's biosecurity risk. Right, we've talked about this quite a bit. Because it seems that there's Chinese operatives working here in high places that get their hands on some things and try and smuggle it back to China, right? Just on regular commercial flights. So this is in late November 2018, just over a year before the first coronavirus case was identified in Wuhan, China. U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents at Detroit Metro Airport stopped a Chinese biologist with 3 vials labeled antibodies in his luggage. The biologist told the agents that a colleague in China had asked him to deliver the vials to a researcher at a U.S. institute. After examining the vials, however, customs agents came to an alarming conclusion. Quote, inspection of the writing on the vials and the stated recipient led inspection personnel to believe the materials contained within the vials may be viable Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is MERS, and Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, which is SARS. That's what was in these vials. It says an unclassified FBI tactical intelligence report obtained by Yahoo News. Here's the report here. Again, you guys can read more of this if you want. We're just going to buzz over this real fast and then get on to the meat and potatoes tonight. But what do you think about this? Like, this is not the first one, right? We had a high-level guy that was working for an actual university. It was MIT, I believe. It was like a very prestigious university. He was in a very high place, and he was on the take from China to send them biological components of research, and who knows what the hell he was sending over there, right? But here we go. So they stopped this guy, of course. There's a big report written and blah blah blah. And yeah, right. Like, this stuff is happening, guys. Like, this is if you think that it's a bit of a stretch to say that this pandemic thing is not, it could not be made in a lab, or like some sort of a what would you say, like biological war going on. Like, who knows, right? Like, these are the types of things that will never come out. They will never see the light of day if this was the truth. But you see what's actually happening out there. These people smuggling things, selling things to China, people on Chinese payrolls working in high levels of academia, and I'm sure the government, right? So, remember Dianne Feinstein had the Chinese driver that for, was it 20 years? her personal driver was a Chinese spy. Like, shit like this is all over the place. So yeah, anyway, this stuff's happening. All right, here we go. Let's see. Did I link that? I think I linked that. Yeah, Yahoo. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at this. What's up, Ash? There's Ash. Aliens. Yeah, buddy, aliens. That's what it's all about. Candy says, anyone from Southern California see the UFOs over the ocean a couple days ago? Yep. We actually started the show with that. You missed it, Candy. You missed it. If you saw it, please call us, because I want to talk to an eyewitness. But we started the show with that story. So, yeah. We definitely did talk about it tonight. Let's see. Who else? What's up, Jenny? Thanks for showing up tonight. We got, let's see, who else? Benjamin, how you doing, my man? Thanks for being here, Benjamin. How are you? How goes the family? How goes the health? How goes everything? Let's see, Dan, and I just said nothing ever happens in Michigan. Well, yeah, there you go. Yep. I did a video on Benjamin. I did a video on 5G and the virus. Check it out. It's on the YouTube page. Let's see. Diane, no live flight here at the hospital. Very quiet. Yeah. Funny. Let's hope it stays quiet. Okay, so let's get to 1984. Let's get to let's see. Yeah, let's do this one real fast. Let's do this first. We're gonna buzz through this. Now, this is crazy. Now, shout out to Mama Dags on Discord for pointing this out. She actually pointed this out to me probably a week ago, maybe 8 days ago, 10 days ago, something like that. But this is a lawsuit that's been filed, right? So here we go. This is reported by shrm.org, which is Better Workplaces, Better World, they call themselves. Double speak, new speak titles. Anyway. Check this out. So AI-related lawsuits are coming, right? Artificial intelligence, right? So HR managers use artificial intelligence to make recruiting decisions, evaluate employee performance, and decide on promotions and firings. HR executives should know that several law firms are preparing for what they believe is inevitable. Artificial intelligence-related lawsuits. In March of this year, law firm Paul Hastings launched an AI practice group to help clients employing AI-driven services and products. The firm will help clients defend against class action lawsuits and give legal advice in areas such as compliance with laws and regulations, data privacy issues, AI governance, and ethics. Right? Okay. So there's one coming. We're going to burn through this real fast. Here, we got this on Reddit, right? This Reddit is fantastic. You got some smart folks on Reddit typing some amazing shit. So if you're not on Reddit, get on Reddit. It's good stuff. So this is posted, of course, in the Conspiracy, the subreddit. But a $2.3 trillion lawsuit has been filed that names Google, Tesla, etc. And the accusations are weaponized AI and biometrics, genocide, sex, human and organ trafficking, harvesting, and more. So, yeah, let's actually hear. So let's see. And here we go. This is the Fullerton Informer. Before we I got a couple clips to play about this, describing this and what's going on with this. But this is crazy, right? Like, we have people saying, hey, look, like this dystopia that we're talking about, these things that we're always talking about on this show, this shit is real. And the technocracy, right? Google, Facebook, Elon Musk and Neuralink, read Neuralink and try to say Musk at the same time. They never do that. It's a bad thing. But you get the point, right? So like these people are being accused of all the things we've been saying. Like all of the dangers of AI are kind of built into this lawsuit. So here we go. So the Fullerton Informer says, this is the most significant and important lawsuit of the 21st century. Google, Facebook, Neuralink sued for weaponized AI tech transfer, complicity to genocide in China, and endangering humanity with misuse of AI. Right? I linked it. Check it out. Check it out. Like, what the hell's going on here? All right. Now, and let's see. This is the actual prepare for change. Okay, this is the same thing. I'm going to skip that. Okay. So, but let's go straight to it. This is the AI organization, and they're actually suing. Let's hear from the guy that's actually filed the lawsuit. I'm linking this if you guys want to check it out. But he's basically suing the technocracy on behalf of of humanity, right? The human race here, and all of us, because he's saying that I'm not going to say what he's saying. I'm going to let you hear what he says himself. Let's play this. So this is the lawsuit, part 1, where he's describing what he's doing and why he's doing it, and thinks this is important. So this is, again, the AIorganization.com. I just linked it. The individual is named Cyrus Parsa is the man's name. That's what it looks like. This is the video I'm going to play. I cut it up into 2 pieces to make it a little more digestible. Let's hear what he has to say. Lawsuit, part 1 against the technocracy. Action.
This is Cyrus A. Parsa. I'm the CEO and founder of the AI organization. I've published Artificial Intelligence Dangers to Humanity. We have sued at the federal level Google, Alphabet, DeepMind, Facebook, Neuralink, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, and all their CEOs for the misuse of artificial intelligence that is endangering all the world's citizens on the coming AI systems, 5G network, quantum technology that can deploy robotics, machines, and drones, as they have transferred technology to the Chinese government, who has sent it to the military and is weaponizing this system with their Orwellian technology that has surveilled its own people, hunted them, put them in camps, and even killed them, even for their organs. We also sued them for complicity in genocide. Article 3 of the Genocide Convention after World War II states that for the prevention of genocide or to reaction of genocide, if anyone is complicit, it includes your reporters, your anchors, producers, media outlets, and even politicians and banks and so on. If anyone is complicit, they can now be sued, but they can be charged on local tribunal levels or national governmental levels or international courts for complicity in genocide. But in this case, these companies, not all of them, but have assisted in these crimes. We also charge them for one more thing: AI coding and AI algorithmic manipulation of humanity. What do I mean by that? Very simple. People understand that your thoughts can be shifted based on bias in Google, but it's more than that. There's an interplay between these smartphones, and they have patents for this. These smartphones, the IoT devices, your ecosystem between your social media and the internet and your human body, which has electrical circuits, nervous systems, and all these neural networks. So what they have been doing is manipulating you, not only that, extracting your biometrics.
Okay, you catch that? That was dense, right? He had a lot to say there. It's all over the place. You know why? Because basically the AI that they're employing has infiltrated all over the place. They're using this shit against us, guys. And it's not like it's not so direct, is it? It's easy to deflect, isn't it? It's based on what would you call it? Being accessible, being technology driven, right? All the buzzwords that you would say that are maybe Orwellian, doublespeak, newspeak, doublethink, right? It's this is crazy. Here we go. So there's tons of stuff here. I did link this if you guys want to check it out. Amazing stuff this guy's talking about. So here's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. Like here's the whole lawsuit and the different points they're talking about. I'm scrolling, right? 20, 21, 25. Like there's a lot of things they're talking about here. Parts 1 through 26, they're actually suing the technocracy for all kinds of things. Now let's look at some of the things he's talking about. I'll play part 2 of that video in just a sec. And again, I'll link that as always. You guys follow up on me and find out what's going on. And see, I'm not making this shit up. But, so part 1, endangering and threatening all the world's citizens and humanity by misusing and weaponizing artificial intelligence, quantum computing, robotics, 5G, machines, smartphones, smart homes, smart cities, IoTs, I'm not sure what that is, holograms, mixed reality, nanotechnology, cloning, gene editing, cybernetics, bioengineering, and the creation of a digital AI brain linked to Google's search engine with the use and extraction of humanity's biometrics data. He continues on that. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Part 2, don't worry, this is not going to be a lawsuit thing. But part 2 is basically negligence and complicity in persecution and genocide of millions in China. Per Articles 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Genocide Convention, which is 18 USCA 1091, which reads, genocide not limited to democracy activists, Falun Dafa practitioners, we've talked about these guys, Christians, Uyghurs, Tibetans, journalists, judges, lawyers, and academics inside of China, right? We talk about how these people disappear. You speak out, you're done. And so he's saying that by the world not coming down on this, they're complicit, right? The technocracy is complicit. Google's over there helping them build search engines, right? It's working alongside them. And so how can you say they're not complicit? Yeah. Anyway, so there's tons of really good stuff in this thing, but he's on our behalf, he's suing the technocracy and saying that what was it, $2.3 trillion is the lawsuit here, that they owe humanity because of all this BS that they're doing. So transferring and providing to China's government and its companies knowledge, data capabilities, and technology to weaponize AI. Part 4, providing to China and Chinese companies AI, health data, and biometric technology used for surveillance, tracking, hunting, quarantine, capture, arrest. Notice quarantine's in there. One more time, breathlessly. Technology used for surveillance, tracking, hunting, quarantine, capture, arrest, torture, concentration camps, organ harvesting, and organ trafficking that contributed to the death of Chinese citizens. So again, right? It's number 6, misrepresenting to the world and deceiving the U.S. on Google's activities in China and their technology transfers that contributed to China's quantum AI advancements, surveillance, abuse, torture, concentration camps, and murder of its own citizens. Again, on and on and on, right? And so if you think that remember how China has its tentacles and everything? You remember how that one guy from the NBA, Daryl Morey is his name. He was the probably still, I think, the general manager for the Houston Rockets. He tweeted, "Stand with Hong Kong." Remember that? And there was a huge shit show. Like, China actually pulled their sponsorship of the NBA. They stopped airing NBA games in China as a result of this. Like, these are the types of things that are going on, people. Like, this is what's happening worldwide. And China has its tentacles in everything. All right? So people hear me say this, and some of my detractors would say, "Oh, Michael Strange, that's just a Red Scare propaganda." Yeah, okay. Go live in China. If you can make it 2 years under their super huge surveillance state, and get back to me. We'll talk. You're not going to get me to go there. I'm not going there. I'm probably on a list where if I showed up, I'd disappear instantly in China, right? So I'm not going there. But if you think you can handle it, good on you. If you think it's propaganda, good on you. Good luck. Yeah. So anyway, this is what's, again, a lawsuit being filed. The technocracy. This is the thing. Other good stuff here. He's talking about corporate banks, politicians. I'm going to link this, and you guys can check it out as well. And what do you think about this? One more time, this show is live. We do this live so we can include you. So if you want to be part of it, 702-957-1037. Join the Discord. You can find both of those, the phone number and the Discord link at troubledminds.org. And what do you think about this? Like, somebody's actually suing the technocracy on behalf of humanity. $2.3 trillion. They're suing Facebook, Google, like all the big players, right? The actual people named in it are Zuckerberg and who are they? Sergey Brin, Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, Larry Page, right? All the people, all the big names here that are running this joint. So is that good? Is this bad? You tell me. Again, right? Like, this is the type of stuff. Somebody said they saw this guy on InfoWars like a month ago. He's trying to raise money for this lawsuit. So just FYI, that's what's happening here. That's what's going on. We got a call. We'll take that in just a sec. But you get the point. Like, there's some Orwellian shit happening here, and this guy's actually saying that they're making this lawsuit. They're taking these guys to task because they have to, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to step up. Somebody has to say, hey, enough is enough with this AI. You're literally farming so much information from us in every capacity of our lives now. You're trying to build a mind-reading algorithm, right? You're trying to be able to think what we think before we think it, so you can sell us some Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you think we're going to need before we need it, you're going to be able to suggest it. Like this is mind control, people. This is mind reading. This is terrifying, and this is where we're headed, right? And right now, it's just advertising. It's just advertising. It's just databases, right? It's just people tracking everything you do and like and love and hate and know everything about you, right? But yeah, crazy stuff. Okay, let's see. We lost a caller. Hey, caller, just call back, and when the screen thing comes up, just say your name and then just wait, and I'll pull you in. So they sometimes the screener is screwed up, but anyway, yeah, just call back and we'll put you on the show. But you get it, right? You get it. You get what I'm talking about, guys. This is not a trivial lawsuit, in my opinion. This is something that the government needs to step up, and this is what the government is for, right? They're supposed to be able to regulate these things, and that's what they should be focused on. And half of our damn Congress can't even check a damn email, right? They're so technologically inept that how can they legislate this stuff? Do you? Okay. Do you guys think Joe Biden or Donald Trump know enough about technology to make these decisions? Yeah, no, no, of course not. No, you got to hope they have good people around them that know these things. But Ash says sounds like a weak case. Well, I guess take it to court. Yeah, let's see. Again, let's hear what the second half of this is. Caller, keep trying. You can get through. It just hung up again on you. I don't know if you hung up or it hung up. But anyway, let's hear part 2 of the lawsuit and see what the guy's saying about this, and then we'll move on to the rest of Orwellian. What would you call this? Dystopia. Or your Orwellian dystopia. That's right, guys. All right, here we go. Here's part 2 of that lawsuit, and then we'll move on.
So it's not just the fact that Facebook, through negligence and other factors, has transferred your family information and your facial recognition information. No. Google, through its DeepMind, has been extracting the way your brain is formed, the way your thoughts are formed, and the structure of your brain, and giving it back to Google. And Google is developing a quantum technology based on a digital AI brain. So they want to create a super intelligence or artificial general intelligence. And so do these tycoons. These tycoons want to live forever, but what they want to do is merge with artificial intelligence. And they have said that, Elon said it's summoning the demons, where it can end all of humanity, and this artificial intelligence can see us as insects and kill everybody. So, and they're taking these risks. So imagine these companies having, just a few of these companies or people having this power over humanity, not just to influence your thoughts, but having this whole network of machines, robotics, with your biometrics, and giving it to an artificial quantum digital brain or general super intelligence that can endanger all the world's citizens. The Pentagon can do nothing about it. The FBI, the CIA, all these governments can do nothing about it because it becomes an artificial super intelligence. So what I've done here is I've researched over 1,000 artificial intelligence, robotics, bioengineering, and cybernetic companies, and 500 or so were Chinese, over 600 were Western. And I came up with quite a bit of analysis that's no one in the world had come up with before. And I sued these people on behalf of humanity because I truly believe that they're endangering everybody. And we have been a reactionary race rather than a preventatory race. So we need support from all the good people that exist. We need funding, and we need good people to come on board, especially funding. Please donate. You can donate by PayPal. You can donate even by Venmo or Cash App, small or big. You can write a check or GoFundMe now.
Okay, so I've linked it all. If you guys want to contribute to this and you think this is a worthwhile cause, by all means. I think it is, and I think this is where we're at right now. There's too much going on with the databases of the world collecting every single detail about our lives. And again, right, you can say, for instance, for Facebook's sake, let's just say for Facebook, or let's just say for Google, right, one or the other. Like, you take your pick. And so either one of these guys, these companies, these huge corporations have so many data points on all of us that, again, they know more about ourselves than we know about ourselves, right? Our impulses, our mistakes, right? They know all of the things, and it's insane. And so what do you think they're going to use it for? And so you can say, so my whole point about this was, bringing it up, was that, sure, Google has it or Facebook has it, these private corporations, right? And so you can't, and then you're like, well, the government doesn't have all the information, do they? Because they're not doing the same thing. Well, are they? Are they not? But doesn't matter. Let's say they're not. Let's give the government the benefit of the doubt, say they don't have a surveillance state in place, and they're not, they're actually respecting our Fourth Amendment and all this other stuff, right? Let's just say that's the case, all right? Just for food for thought. All right, now, couldn't they just easily get it from Google or Facebook, who's like a major donor in politics? Like a kind of step outside of the government and kind of show up to Sergey's house or whoever the hell it is, Mr. Zuckerberg, and like maybe have a look into the database themselves, right? Kind of off the record type of situation. So it almost doesn't matter when you have these huge, major, unbelievably large corporations, bigger than countries, that the power is immense. And this is what the governments are for, right? You're not supposed to let companies get so big, so incredibly giant that they can take it away. They can own everything, and they're doing it. That's what they're doing. So anyway, there's my rant. There's my soapbox. You guys agree? Cool. If you don't agree, cool. Again, hopefully, if you hadn't heard about this lawsuit and the technocracy and this business, now you have. I put the links up there, and you guys can check it out. And I think, let's see, is that one more? Yeah, I put it up there one more time. One more time in the Facebook chat. But check it out. Do check it out. Like, what the hell's actually going on with this? And do you think it's worthwhile? And blah, blah, so on and so forth. So go ahead and call. You guys know what to do. 702-957-1037. I'll put the phone number up one more time. We had somebody calling in that didn't quite make it, but just get past the call screener. They're very nice. They don't call you names or anything. They just say your name. They just say your name. That's what I got to do. Once you get on, I'll handle everything. Joe says, what's up? This was almost justify an EM pulse over China, a small yield to just wipe the data. Well, maybe. Don't put those words in my mouth, but that's a hell of an idea. Sean, what's up? That's okay. Let's see. Eric says, what's up, Eric from Pittsburgh? What about Apple versus the U.S. government? Didn't that fare well for Apple in the end? It did, except they got around it anyway. So I think that's the thing. So who knows if that was PR by Apple and they actually just kind of did it and acted like they didn't. This is the problem, right? We can't trust any press. We can't trust any of the PR people for these huge corporations. Because, again, it's kind of like the party. It's kind of like the 1984 Orwellian party. They're never wrong, right? They're never wrong. When's the last time you saw a corporation admit they majorly screwed up, right? They don't. They pay people to shut up. They go to court. And the dirty stuff never hits the news because they pay their way out of it, right? They pay their way out of it. So anyway, there we go. Let's see. Paul says, I've read it. I'm with you. And yes, okay, all right, fair enough. All right, so let's move on. So that was part 2 of that thing. Now let's move on to 1984. Right, and so what's happening today? So if you guys aren't familiar with 1984, we get a little brief here. We'll do some 1984 for just a sec. We're talking about, of course, the George Orwell novel written in. Actually, I'm just going to read this, or I'm going to play this. So I got some stuff on 1984, and we're going to see how it maybe sticks with us today, and maybe we're ever so close to that precipice where we tumble over and there's no coming back. So I think that's the thing here. That's what we're talking about tonight, and I'm going to hopefully make you a good case. And that first lawsuit was one of it, right? Well, the first step in this case in saying, hey, look, this guy recognizes that artificial intelligence and massive data harvesting combined together is akin to mind reading, right? That's the whole point. They know what you want before you want it, okay? They know your fallacies. They know your mistakes. They know when you're depressed. They know when you're happy. And they know exactly what to sell you as a result of all that. If you don't think that's mind reading, call me because I want to talk about that. Okay, so anyway, here's the context of 1984, written by George Orwell. Check this out. We're going to go with the actual context of when this happened. And for those of you that haven't read this book, it's a short read, maybe a couple days if you really get after it. It's not that long, but it is again probably in my opinion, one man's opinion on the internet, one guy with a microphone. I think it's the best dystopian novel that describes exactly where we're headed with the technocracy and with the the parties that can never admit they're wrong, right? The party itself and the constant state of war, etc. Anyway, here we go. Here's the 1984 context. We got a couple parts to this, and I got some pretty cool clips to play, summing up 1984 well. So let's see what the context of 1984 was and when it was written. Again, let's play this action.
There's some important context to know before getting into 1984. 1984 was published in 1949, not long after Joseph Stalin's Great Purge of the 1930s. Stalin was the leader of the Communist Party in the Soviet Union, and under Stalin's communism, the state seized all private property to become communal. But this didn't give the working class more power. Stalin became a dictator. His totalitarian government eliminated all opposition to his rule. Secret police watched the citizens and used torture tactics to get false confessions from his enemies. The Great Purge made millions of people disappear, sent to prison camps or executed. Their public records were destroyed. During the Spanish Civil War, Stalin funded the Socialist Republican government in its battle against the fascist nationalists. Stalin accused many of his allies on the Republican side of treason, and the resulting infighting on the Republican side created even more bloodshed. World War II was another example of the destructive power of the kind of totalitarianism 1984 represents. Adolf Hitler's Nazi party put people in concentration camps and had them killed. The expansionist Axis powers fought against the Allies, although the Allies ultimately won. History has forgotten many of the names of the victims of the Holocaust. They became, and were actually called, non-persons. Their histories erased.
Okay, so remember that. So he's saying that people in the Holocaust, their histories were erased. They were murdered, and every record of them ever, their family history, anything they'd ever done, accomplishments, achievements, gone. And you could say, thrown into the memory hole. If anybody doesn't know what the memory hole is, it's where you sent information that after you doctored it, after you spun it in the information or the Ministry of Truth, which of course I like to akin to Wikipedia, is the original document that you got the information from, pre-spin, had to be destroyed, and it was thrown into the memory hole for incineration. And so there we go. There's part one of this. Again, the context, right? So 1949. This is just after World War II. We have the Stalinist bit. We have Hitler with the Germany and the Holocaust, right? Like just tons and like dozens of millions of people just flat out murdered for no reason, right? And again, think about this, guys. This is not even 100 years ago at this point. Like, we're talking 80 years. We're not even fully removed, like an entire, like one single lifetime, one human life cycle from this. And for some reason, right, we just find ourselves slipping further and further into this. This is insane. And I don't say this to be, like they say, fear porn or any of that. We're not about that. We're about being aware of what's happening. We're about being able to call our senators and our Congress people for whatever good it's worth, right? Making a blog, doing a radio show like this, whatever it is, to get the word out so people understand what the hell's actually happening. That's what we're about. We're about educating. We're about asking questions. We're about learning. This isn't fear-mongering. Don't be afraid. Be empowered. Okay? We have the power to do this. And at the end, I'll play the clip that I like to play from time to time about Orwell, asking what we can do about this. He has some suggestions. So anyway, let's go with part two with the context, and then we'll keep on trucking here with 1984 and how it relates to what's going on right now, and that lawsuit against the technocracy and everything else. So here we go. Context, 1984 context part two. So written in 1949 and with Hitler and Stalin in mind and the loyalty to the party. Here's part two.
The late 1940s and 1950s saw attention paid to uncovering facts the Nazis tried to hide, and Orwell's story is a cautionary reminder to readers of the danger of a regime that refuses to take responsibility for its actions. Orwell was a supporter of socialism and was determined to create better living conditions for the working poor. Orwell was fervently anti-totalitarian and stayed an anti-Stalinist right up to and during the writing of 1984. He continued to believe that a form of socialism called ethical socialism offered a fairer society. The political system in the novel, 1984, is called Ingsoc, short for English socialism. But Orwell named the political system that because he saw England as just as vulnerable to totalitarianism as any other country. 1984 is an anti-totalitarian novel, not an anti-socialist one. Now, 1984 made an immediate impression on its early readers and was considered a novel of political prophecy. Its rise of technology and an increasingly divided and partisan media is still relevant in the 21st century as it was when it was first published. Several words from 1984 have entered the English-speaking lexicon: Big Brother, Newspeak, Thought Police, and Doublethink among them. The adjective Orwellian has come to characterize a dystopian, totalitarian future.
Okay, you see. Dystopian, Orwellian, right? What is it? Thought police, thought crimes, right? Newspeak, doublethink. Like these are terms that are very, very relevant to what's happening right now, right? Just the news cycles, and again that lawsuit with the Technocracy. So there you go. There's the context of this. It was written in 1949. Again, just coming out of World War II, like atrocities, dozens of millions of people dead for power, right? For power. Is it really a misunderstanding when you have people murdering their own people? Dictators murdering their own people, right? Like let's say China right now, which is part of the reason that guy's suing them, suing the Technocracy, because they're allowing it. They're complicit. They're not reporting it. They're covering up the reporting of this because they don't want to lose money, right? Again, one more time, we talk about liberty on this show, right? Individual liberty, your autonomy, your ability to be yourself and who you want to be, right? We talk about that often, right? Probably not as much as we should, but this is the argument here, right? Should humanity be a hive mind, right, where you have no individuality? You have to do what you're told all the time because it's in the best interest of the many, and they could give a damn about how you feel or like it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's worth talking about. I think it's worth pointing out from time to time, and I think it's why we're doing the show tonight. So there we go. Making jokes. Is that Richard Simmons reading this? No, it's not. It actually, hold on. I got links for this. I'll drop them at the end. So it's actually like kind of a Cliff Notes type channel on YouTube where they kind of brief some of this stuff. So if you don't want to read the book, you can go just kind of jam through it and ace your test on it, right? It's funny how, remember the old days, you have to buy the Cliff Notes and the little yellow things, right? And the little tiny yellow book that gave you a synopsis of the actual book. So so you could spend an hour and find out what was going on instead of sort of spend several days reading the book. So yeah, this is what it's turned into. It's somebody on YouTube breaking it down for you. So anyway, there we go. That's the point, right? We're here, and that's the context of 1984. Now, some of the themes that you guys have heard of, right? Like we're just going to apply to some things here as we move along. Let's get some of these clips out of the way so we can talk about some of these articles and how this applies to us now and what's actually happening now. Okay, so that was the context of when it was written. Let's look at some of the themes, and then we'll get into some other really, really sinister shit. Morbid laugh. Here we go, action.
There are a number of key themes in 1984. One is class struggle. George Orwell supported democratic socialism and saw totalitarianism as a huge danger in countries where socialism was the party line. Winston speaks often of the need to mobilize the proles against the party. The party controls the middle class, and they're convinced that the proles are at the same level as animals. This keeps the middle class and the proles from joining forces, and Winston belongs to the middle class. He sees that the higher classes enjoy privileges he can't have, and he believes that the proles enjoy freedom because they're ignored by the party. Freedom versus oppression is also an important theme. Orwell wrote 1984 in reaction to the rise of totalitarian governments. What Orwell saw includes techniques he observed in totalitarian regimes in Europe, like limiting the press and widespread poverty. Orwell's intent in this cautionary tale is twofold: to disparage totalitarian regimes and to warn about the possibility of takeover by intolerant, anti-democratic powers. Fear and hate as means of control are key themes here. Orwell examines the sneaky ways governments create fear and hate among their own people. In order to gain or hold on to power, fear and hate are ramped up by politicians, subgroups, and governments. Propaganda is used to control people, telling them that they need to be afraid. Hatred is the correct response to alleviate that fear. With enough exposure, the people can be convinced of anything, and the telescreens subject people to nearly constant exposure. Individual thought versus mind control is a crucial theme in 1984. Now, individual thought requires freedom of expression. The richer the language, the more choices a person has to express nuance and specificity. The Outer Party is on the 11th edition of the Newspeak Dictionary, and with each edition, more words are dropped from the English language. Eliminating words reduces the range of consciousness and limits original thinking. Orthodoxy means not needing to think. It's unconsciousness, and here, it's the ultimate form of mind control. People are not allowed to think anti-party thoughts at all. Thought crime can be detected by even a lukewarm expression, which they call face crime. The only allowable thoughts are the ones the party instills. If someone in power tells a lie often enough and no dissenting voices come forward, people will begin to believe the lie.
Okay, did you catch that? So they're controlling the way people speak, right? They're controlling the way people think. They're limiting vocabulary so that you can't even formulate your own thoughts to form some sort of dissent. You see what's happening here? You see what's going on? You see what's happening with our schools, public education? You see what's happening with the cancel culture and with not being able to say this or the pronouns or the this or that or the other thing, right? You're not allowed to be in any way, shape, or form different, right? It's the herd mentality. It's the Borg, right? It's Star Trek's the Borg. Everybody for the one, right? That's the term. That's the entire cell here when you're talking about this. And you're like, well, if everybody, rows the boat, then the boat goes faster, right? But that's not what happens. That's never what happens. That's because it's an impossibility, right? Because some people are more capable of it, some people are less, some people are sick, some people are disabled. There's a lot of things here, right? There's a lot of things at play. And you know what that is? That single thing, that one single particular thing that's at play here, that's basically at risk. Individuality. You get to be you. That's what's at risk. And so we're all different in some way or another, right? We're all completely different. And, the same, but also different. And that's what makes, in my opinion, humanity beautiful. Because we can. We can do amazing things. We can do disgusting, atrocious things. But we can do amazing things as well. And that means if you're not allowed to do any of those things, creativity, let's say this show, you're not allowed, right? That's not allowed because you're actually contradicting the thoughts of the state. You're actually contradicting the thought police, creating thought crimes that you're spreading into other people's minds, right? This is absurd. This is crazy, and that's what's happening again with the technocracy, that lawsuit, and we're going to get into some more stuff with this COVID-19 and maybe the power grabs that are happening. But again, right? John, what's up? Says John on Facebook says I've read 1984. Everybody should. I agree 100%. He says I'd also suggest Atlas Shrugged. I haven't read that myself. I have heard that though. That it's definitely one that should be read, and it's in the same vein here as 1984. So that I'll put that on my list, on my short list, and I'll start reading that soon. Because Atlas Shrugged, I've been told is fantastic. Okay, so and then this is crazy, right? This is crazy. Let's see. Joe says Snoop Dogg adds vocabulary every year. Faux shizzle. Yeah, baby. I tell you what. All right, we got a call coming in. We'll take this in just a sec. Let's see. Paul says, I've been preaching this for years. People tell me I'm crazy. I'm telling you, I think you're paying attention. And I think people are, Fahrenheit 451 is another one, says Larry. But yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Paul. It's not... Again, I don't think revolution means shooting people, right? I think revolution means disengaging from that society they want you to be part of, throwing your Alexa in the lake, your Google Home in the lake, maybe building a homestead and getting land and doing things the old-fashioned way. And then they can't control you. If you can create your own food and sustain yourself, you don't need the party for anything. Follow me? Okay, here we go. We're gonna take this phone call and we'll keep on trucking. What's up? You're on Troubled Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Jared, and I'm calling from New York.
Jared from New York. How are you, my man? What's on your mind tonight?
I'm doing good. It's a little crazy here and everything, but I've just been watching streams and kind of hanging out and stuff. I was wanting to talk a little bit about, the limitations on, society and everything, like you were talking about, and how, in my personal opinion, I think it diminishes us as humans.
I think you're exactly right. You're exactly right. I think it robs us of the thing that makes us human. Completely. And so, you talk about transhumanism and adding, circuit boards or the neural link into our brains, or maybe replacing our limbs with robotic limbs that make us faster or stronger, right? Like every single little thing that happens in this regard, exactly like you said, makes us less human. Yeah. Good point. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's crazy that, people want to put limitations, and so, humans, I mean, take it like this. I look at it as kind of like, the forbidden fruit kind of thing. If you put people off limits on something, they're going to fight for whatever it is. It makes it taste sweeter, whatever is off limits to us. So if you're going to limit our media, or limit us in any capacity, it's just going to be in human nature to fight for it.
Yeah, you hope. But here's the thing that scares me about that. I think it has to become to a saturation point, right? And so the way that spills over in the history of humanity is bloodshed, right? And I think that's the unfortunate part of what makes us human. Like we're pretty adaptable. And so as things change, we're able to change along with it until, you can only squish you into a corner so hard and so far before you start punching back. And I think that's where we're at. Not now, but I think we're headed there. And unfortunately, human history does not have a nice, peaceful resolution to these things. It ends up poorly, It's bad. It's
exactly.
bad.
And I mean, if you take the whole, the Hong Kong thing and stuff that's been happening recently, it's either going to turn out into a full rebellion, and it's no matter what, either side, it's going to get nasty no matter what. Either the government and the people are going to fight, or history tends to repeat itself, and it could be another genocide, or it's definitely a tricky topic to talk about, and it's actually really scary to think of, just for example, America. That's where we live, or I would assume you live. I've
Yes,
only
sir.
started watching the show here the past week.
Las Vegas. Yes, sir. America.
Las Vegas. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. If for some reason the government, started, suppressing information and stuff, and started being, a lot more controlling to the people, I would definitely put it on the American citizens that they would fight back. I mean, it's just part of our culture. We were born in this freedom and stuff, and if you start limiting, and people are going to fight for it.
Yeah. So ideally, I agree with you. Ideally, but the problem is, again, if you ask 100 people in this country what freedom actually means, I'll bet you probably 99 of them can't even define it. So like if you can't, and this is the whole Orwellian bit, right? The new dystopia, the thought crimes and the newspeak. It's that if you limit the vocabulary and you limit the terms of explaining what autonomy means as people, then you basically diminish the entire philosophical thought behind it. If people can't describe what they're fighting for, then they ain't fighting for it. They just can't. It becomes an impossibility. And this is all coming true, man. This is crazy stuff. Huh?
Yeah, you're 100% right. I agree with you there that the whole, if you can't define what you're fighting for, then what's even the point really? And I think a lot of people have a different opinion on what free actually is, but I think we're at a pretty good point in America at the moment. I mean, that's up for debate,
which is why we're here.
Realistically, however,
Yep.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But
definitely.
I mean, as long as I can, I'm in the bounds of making how much money I want if I put the effort forward for it, and I can hang out with my cat Bosco, and I think everything works out. That's free to me. I can do what I want within my limitations. I basically pave my own destiny.
Yeah. Right.
I'm kind of a believer in that.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? to sum it up, to boil it up.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. It's in the document for that reason. And you're totally right. So that's a fantastic start, right? But it's deeper philosophically. Of course, we're not going to get into individual liberty tonight and what it means. We should at some point, I think, and really get into what it means and why it was such a hot button 230 some years, whatever happened, when the revolution hit and they built this great place. So I mean, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Can I ask you? If you have more thoughts, you're more welcome, of course. But can I ask you what's happened in New York? Are the media reports accurate? Do you have some information you can tell us about the pandemic out there?
I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's definitely different everywhere else, but here, I mean, I should say more or less it's different here than it is everywhere else. But you should really you can only leave your house if you have an absolutely necessary reason to, which I think personally, in my opinion, I think that it should be like that across the entire country, just for a few weeks. And then I think that the numbers of, new confirmed cases would drop substantially, and then everything could go back to normal a lot sooner. However, but, letting American citizens kind of, just go out and get themselves infected and stuff, it isn't really helping, the whole country as a whole. And especially us in New York, it's not helping us, because the longer this goes on, the longer, we're going to get beat down. I mean, the population density here is so crazy, and I don't think anything's being misconstrued in the media. It seems pretty accurate for what's going on here.
Okay, so they're actually reporting.
I'm out of a job right now.
Okay, so it's affecting you.
Yeah, it's definitely affecting me. I'm out of a job. However, our stimulus is going to help me out a lot. I worked at a small restaurant. I was a server, but it's a family-owned one, so it's not like it's not like a corporate chain where they'll fight to stay open because they're making money. It's a family-owned one, so it got kind of snubbed out until all this blows over.
Yeah, the little guys. That's the problem, right? So they always bail out the big guys, and they screw the little guys, and then these big corporations consolidate, and they get they become larger and larger and more powerful. It's the same story. It's like 9/11, right? Like we bailed out. There were tons of regional airlines, right? And we bailed out the biggest ones, and then so the regional ones just went bankrupt. And that's what's going to happen again. Except, like the big guys are going to buy up the little guys that are profitable and interesting, and then they're just going to become bigger and more powerful themselves. But so as a result, we're no better than China. We're picking and choosing the losers and the winners, and we're giving them the power to basically run the government a decade from now. This is absurd, man. These are bizarre times we live in. Crazy, crazy stuff. Fantastic. So you just started listening, huh? Where'd you find us?
I was just browsing through Twitch, and I was looking, through the talk shows and podcast section, and I found you guys, and I really actually enjoyed it and everything. Something I am interested. I don't know if maybe I've tuned in at the wrong times or not, but I've definitely heard you guys talk about aliens a little bit. I do want to talk about I want to hear you guys talk about the paranormal stuff. That's more up my alley.
You got it, buddy.
The last ghost and
you got it. The last two shows we did were the Dogman and Skinwalker Ranch. Check it out. It's on. You can find it on YouTube.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, we just did Skinwalker.
Yeah,
so we do touch on that stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Have you seen the testament of it's that older couple that say that a Skinwalker came and it killed their child?
I didn't see that. No. Nope. I saw. Are you talking about Project Blue Book, or this is a different, like an old account from like the old days?
So it's like it was like a kind of like a documentary, honestly, about the Skinwalker. But they took an interview of this older couple that claimed that a Skinwalker came into their home and killed their child. And there's some pretty cool evidence about it. that they stated everything. That it didn't seem like they were just making this out of nothing. Like they were covering up how their kid died or something like that. It seemed pretty credible. There was definitely a break-in, and there were some claw marks on the ground. It was really neat.
Yeah, there's some pretty nutty stories out of Skinwalker. Do check out the show if you haven't. It's on YouTube there. It's just within the last week we just did it because that History Channel special is out. And, I did watch that. I'll review that at some point as well. But yeah, I mean, definitely good stuff. You're in the right place, man, because we talk about all of it. Yeah, clearly Dystopia. We talk about aliens, conspiracy, paranormal, man. We're all over it. So here's the thing: if you're new, awesome. Join us on Discord if you can. Troubleminds.org. Click the link. Get in there. There's a lot of smart people in there, and you can suggest shows for the future and give us links and join the conversation. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you calling.
You guys have a set day to stream?
Yeah, so we do Tuesdays and we do Friday nights. So currently it's 8 p.m. Pacific.
Tuesdays
so that'd be
and Fridays.
Yeah, Tuesday, Friday, and currently, and hoping to add one more probably for the week. And basically, that's 11 p.m. your time. And yeah, definitely good stuff. Good stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it.
You bet, man. Thanks for calling. Jared from New York. And thanks. God bless and prayers. And if you don't believe in that stuff, good vibrations, frequencies, whatever it is, man, stay safe out there. You're in one of the war zones right now.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. Appreciate the call. There you go. Look at that. Smart people. Smart people. Jared from New York. And I think that's the point, right? Like, we can talk about conspiracy stuff. We can talk about aliens. We can talk about these other things that nobody wants to touch, and we can do it in a sane way. We don't have to be insane, right? We can be smart about this. We can look at the propaganda and the information and kind of cut to the bone. We're capable of that. It's okay. It's okay to talk about these things, and that's why we're doing it. Great call. Thanks, Jared. Thanks for there you go, first time caller. Amazing stuff. Okay, so there we go. 1984. Got some themes we talked about. Some. Let's get into the actual. Let's see the meat and potatoes of this. We have some good stuff. All right. So now, speaking of 1984 and George Orwell, we have this is a fantastic. This is, if you guys, again, if you don't use Reddit. A lot of the information that I take comes from Reddit, comes from Twitter, and it's because a lot of these guys have they report like breaking shit. You can't find it in the regular news cycles, but these lots of good people like root this stuff out and report it on these platforms, and so I'm able to see it like literally when this shit goes live. Like they pick it out. I don't know if it's like an RSS feed and they just put it right up, but I'm able to stay on the top of news that's not mainstream news, right? So I think if you guys aren't familiar with Reddit or Twitter and you hate them, you want to facepalm and be like, I hate social media. I understand, but there's for every terrible person on social media, there's also a good person. So yeah, again, baby in the bathwater. You got to take the good with the bad, but there's some really good stuff here. So this is a subreddit called CST. Right? And it's actually critical shower thoughts. And it's people kind of thinking outside the box. And this is one of the ones that kind of made me go, okay, wait, there's something to this. I'm linking this and you guys can check it out. And what's up, Timothy? I see you there. Timothy on Periscope. Thanks for showing up, man. Still got Facebook jail? Facebook jail. That should be your middle name. Okay, so here we go. Check this out. This is crazy. Now, the thought on this. This is reported. This is actually by somebody named the user on Reddit, Spotted Cows. Okay, and the MIC will soon stand for Medical Industrial Complex. Okay, he says this is just a theory, a thought, a hunch. The military industrial complex will never truly go away, but will be scaled back to pave the way for the new MIC, which is, of course, the Medical Industrial Complex. He continues, large gatherings of people, airports, concerts, sports events will soon see the temperature stations before admittance. These extra health measures and cost will be passed on to the consumers. Travel will become more expensive. Freedoms will be stripped in the name of good health. Feel free to travel, but get ready to quarantine if you get the sniffles. And if you do have the sniffles, just update your symptoms in this handy app so we can track your symptoms. This change will be subtle. Life will go on. But from this point forward, it will be different. But it will be different for the better. We are in the beta version of a new society. You know how people like to judge people on their parenting skills? Get ready for people to judge everyone for just living their lives. Yeah, right? Again, for all the social media, right? You facepalm, people arguing, saying stupid shit to each other, like families breaking apart, whatever it is, right? Like division. For all the division, there's smart people on social media. So shout out to Spotted Cows. I'll link him this show after we're done and thank him for the great thoughts here. But think about that, right? So as life changes, like you think of in modern terms, you think of pre 9/11, right? The airport business, you could just like roll into an airport and you're on the plane in 30 minutes and you're gone, right? Those days are over. Those days are over. You have to go through the whole deal. You got the guys grabbing your butt and like jungling your nuts, and they're feeling you up everywhere. They like this is the new normal, right? The new normal. Think about that term. The new normal, right? And what does that mean? What does that mean? You know what that is? Yeah, that's newspeak. And what does it mean? That you just got screwed. And what you used to have, you no longer have. You follow me? That's your new normal. Yeah, newspeak. Double think. Two things at the same time. You have to believe things are better, but also at the same time realize that they're not as good as they used to be. Right? Am I right? Anyway, fantastic post. This guy's amazing. Spotted Cows. There's some good stuff here. Here's the first General Derez says that, and I'm just going to read this one. We'll move on. He says, "You're right about the incremental." Slow down. You're right about the incremental encroachment of tyranny in the disguise of medical science and health measures. I just think you're wrong about the scaling back of military. Think militarized police forces to subjugate the herd. Yeah, right? Great thoughts. And this is fantastic. The medical industrial complex. Think about it, right? 9/11 happened, and 20 years later, just about, we still have people like feeling us up at the airport, right? Do you think it's necessary? You think? Don't you think we could have metal detectors and like just a really quick metal detector and like the scanner? Like people can haul ass through there. We have the technology for this stuff. So why are we still doing it the other way, right? The Patriot Act. Why are we still doing this? Yeah. So what's going to happen after this, I think, is the question. Anyway, so there we go. This is a part of what inspired me to do this. Here's another one. And this is completely freaking true. And so these two posts basically inspired me for this whole show. I'm going to link this one more. This is Reddit one more time. This is from the Conspiracy subreddit. Conspiracy Commons, actually. So conspiracy has turned into such a cesspool on Reddit with shills and, people just arguing back and forth. It's just terrible that they have a Conspiracy Commons subreddit, all right? Again, I'm going to get off Reddit in a sec, so if you guys are glazing over, listen to the information. It's important. But the thing is that Conspiracy Commons, you have to join this for, I don't know, like a week or 2 weeks or something, and prove that you're like a good conscience poster before they'll let you into the actual conspiracy thread. You can't just join conspiracy straight off. That's how much of a cesspool it's become. Anyway, here we go. So this is from Conspiracy Commons. It's like the JV team of conspiracy on Reddit. But here we go. So the post titled, "Social Distancing Sounds Like Something Out of 1984. Does anyone else think that social distancing is designed to turn friend against friend and turn neighbors into enemies? Police forces all over Canada are encouraging people to rat out anyone who is seen violating this social distancing nonsense. We can no longer protest. We can no longer assemble. We can no longer be social individuals. What year is it?" And I'm going to say, sounds like 1984 to me. Okay, and so what they're talking about, let me pull this up and we'll go straight to this. Here's a reported by globalnews.canada, and this isn't the one the guy cited in that post, which is fantastic, and I will link him as well. Hold on, let me tell you who the guy is, just to give credit where credit is due. It's a user called Tank Cetus Rigby. Tarek. Holy crap, I can't read. Tarek Cetus Rigby is the user. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so let's move on to this. Globalnews.ca, Canada. All right, now check this out. Did I link it? Yeah, I linked it there. Did I link it there? Did I link it there? Let's see. Yes, no. Okay, here we go. I'm linking it in Facebook. We got a call coming in. I'll take that in just a sec as well. So hang on the line there, caller. We'll get to you in just a sec. But okay, here we go. This is again reported by globalnews.ca, Canada. Coronavirus outbreak. Ford says snitch lines, fines, and other measures all on the table. So Ontario Premier Doug Ford again asked people to stay at home and abide by social and physical distancing measures on Monday, but said if it gets advice from Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. David Williams, and his government's command table to enact more aspects like fines, arrests, or even a snitch line, every option remains on the table. So I won't play this because we have some other better clips to play about 1984. But here's another one. This is the one that was linked in the Reddit post. We're going to get you just a sec, caller. Hang on. Let me link this, and then we'll pull you in, and we'll talk about this stuff. So this is again. This is from this is Canada. This is a lovely Canada, right? And nobody's ever said a bad thing about a Canadian. But this is published March 27th, 2020, not too long ago. And actually, this is London. This is not Canada. This is London. So that was Canada actually said that they are open to this type of thing. And in London, London unveils snitch line for COVID-19 rule violations. And we'll talk about how that's relevant to 1984 in just a sec after we take this call. What's up? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Austin. I'm from Louisville.
Austin. From where?
Louisville.
Louisville.
Kentucky.
Louisville? Is that right?
Louisville, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Your accent threw me off. My bad. Go right ahead, man. What's on your mind tonight? How you doing?
I'm doing. I wish I could say better.
Yeah, I think all of us are a little bit in that boat. But yeah, go ahead.
That one Reddit page. Oh, I agree 100%. Social distancing. Oh man, it's insane. It's insane. It's a slow, insidious crawl. Everything that's going on. That you know what the news said? It says wear your mask. They want every citizen, every American wearing your mask and your goggles. It's dehumanizing. These people, it's like a greasy film over just everywhere. Just a fear. It's terrifying.
And I think that's probably part of the social dynamic at this point, right? Like they want us to be afraid, and as much as they say they don't, I think that it plays a good catalyst to whatever comes next. You know, I think we're probably agree there.
I 100% believe. I agree. Honestly, it's getting to the point where my neighbors are looking at me shiftily. I promise. I think they're envious. You know why I think they're envious? Because my house, it's always been, it's on a little platform 6 feet above all of theirs. So when I leave, I get looks. I'm a little above fair skin. You know, I'm not white like the rest of them. But now these looks, they're mean. They're looking at me behind their stupid swim goggles and their stupid fucking breathing mask. I'm sorry. Can I swear on this?
Hey man, this is our show. We say what the fuck we want. Fuck the FCC. Go right ahead.
I agree. A warm-blooded American.
Yes, sir.
I promise you, they can see into my basement, they can look at my toiletries, and they look at me, and they're like vultures. They're like coyotes. They're looking at me like I'm King Kunta sitting on a gold mine.
Okay.
And it's the user's fault. They're fear-mongering, raking it in.
Yeah, I get it. Now, here's the thing, right? So here's the thing. So we have to be self-aware a little bit and realize that maybe your neighbors are just similarly afraid, you know? Like maybe they're legitimately afraid. People handle these things in different ways. You know, people are people, and some people are better than others. And in some cases, other cases, right? You can make it. This is this is term paper stuff. This is like a PhD level stuff that we're talking about here, like nature, nurture. Good people, bad people, good and evil, right? Like biblical. Like there's a ton of stuff here that we're talking about. So I'm just saying, I understand that you feel a little bit apprehensive about your neighbors, but they're your neighbors, man. You know what I mean? So do me a favor, do us a favor, and just do your best to just be tolerant, right? That's my advice. That's just one guy to another guy.
Now, I 100% agree with you. However, let's be honest. In America, I don't know about you personally, but for me in my community, it's hardly any. You mean to tell me we should all band together now when we haven't done anything for each other before? I just don't believe it. These people, they don't give me the time of day any other day of the week. But the soon as the media starts saying staying inside, now we should all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't hate my neighbors, but I just, I think they're shifty, right? My apologies. I'm losing my temper.
It's okay, man. It's okay. Look. This is why we have locks on our doors. This is why we have the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? Be safe in your home, and don't worry about your neighbors. You take care of yourself. Don't worry about your neighbors. Kumbaya, I think is a stretch, but I think in times like this, I think we do need to come together. And maybe a little more than we might otherwise. And I agree with you 100%. Like, you don't snap your finger and suddenly everything changes overnight. That's not the way it works. That's not the way people work. That's not the way time works. That's not the way anything works. So, like I said, just you're fine. You didn't lose your temper. You're all good. Just let's meditate. Let's pray. Let's do whatever makes us be present for ourselves and our family, and do your best to take care of the fellow man. That's all. I think it's as simple as that. It's funny, right? Like life is actually a lot more simple than we try and make it. I think that's my opinion on this situation anyway. It just, things can be so complicated from day to day and person to person, but I just don't think it, if we do the best for ourselves and for other people, I think everything works itself out. Yeah, good shit, man. Anything else? What else is on your mind tonight as we roll through this?
There's just so much. I want to be honest. It's just, I can't. I want to go to the hospital, but I can't out of fear. I promise. Like I can't risk exposure, but at the same time I can't risk being forced to stay in. It's not me I'm worried about. It's the people at home, right? It's like I can't have my cake and eat it too. I want to be a free, warm-blooded American, but at the same time I can't have someone who's being irresponsible giving me something that can hurt one of my own.
Yeah. I'm with you.
It's too much.
I understand. Yeah. Again, these times are not easy for anybody. That's kind of my point, So like, even if your neighbors, you think they're shifty, it is what it is, Like, let's do the best we can to not. Let's not be the first guy to fire shots, is what I'm saying, right? Let's not be that guy. Let's not take it to that level, because I don't think it's necessary at this point. Like do what you do. Autonomy is still yours at this point. And, again, like I said, be productive, be creative, try and teach people, try and understand people, try and have conversations, that's the point we do this live. That's the whole point, right? You get random people calling, you get people call me an asshole sometimes, right? Or I'm a know nothing, like people on Twitter, always popping off. Who cares? Like, the thing is, like, try and understand why they're saying that, I think, anyway, blah, blah. I'm not trying to preach like that. I'm just kind of giving you an insight,
I have to say one last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, God bless you, Mac. You are the most level-headed person I've talked to all week.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I'll be honest.
Thank you. That means a lot.
my praise is nothing. But out of everybody that I see, you are delivering more truth and more serenity and genuinity than anybody I've seen on the news. They're yelling on the news. They're like children. How is anything productive meant to be coming from there?
Yeah, it's not. I agree. And again, we're going to get to that in just a sec. I'm going to talk about the 2 minutes of hate from 1984 and how it equates to the 24-hour news cycle. I'm going to talk about that in a sec. But yeah, you're completely right. I don't think anything productive is supposed to come out of it. They're supposed to scare us, and they're supposed to divide us. I think that's their whole goal. But yeah, absolutely. You're spot on there. Definitely. What was your first name again? Austin, right?
Austin.
Austin. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. I'm trying to get the names right. Try to remember voices. Try and know people. And you're a first time caller. I appreciate it. Where'd you find us? Where'd you find the show?
A friend recommended it to me. I've been postponing. I'm really bad with looking at recommendations, but it was worth my time. I'll tell you that.
Right on. I appreciate that. That's again, kind words from you. Again, man, hang in there. This is not easy for all of us. Okay, just remember that the people next door are also people, and they may be scared more than you. And just try and grant people the grace that you would expect from them. That's kind of what I'm saying. Again, I'm not preaching. I'm saying let's do our best to hold hands. We don't have to sing Kumbaya, but let's get halfway there. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else while we got you on the phone?
No, honestly, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for calling. Thank you for listening. Spread the word, man. Spread the word. Again, this is the thing, right? If we can talk as level-headed individuals, not be divisive, not be political, and just talk about what people need as people, man. Again, that's what the show's about. That's why we've always done this. That's why we've always done it live, because we meet amazing people like you. There's a lot of great people that have called in this show. So, you're just add to the list. I appreciate it, my man. Austin, and you said from one more time, Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll agree that I said it wrong. I appreciate you listening, man. Austin. Have a fantastic night. Hang in there. Hang in there. This is tough for all of us. Okay.
You as well.
I appreciate it, my man. Thanks for calling. God bless. All that good stuff. All right, there you go. There you go. Right, the smart people. It's as simple as that. You don't have to be a tinfoil hat nutter to think about conspiracies, to think about news cycles, to think about the things we talk about. Right, you can talk about these in a sane way, and hopefully we're doing it justice. Again, thanks Austin for the call. Thanks everybody for the great calls tonight. Let's. So he brought up the 24-hour news cycle. Let's look at 2 minutes of hate. Check this shit out. He actually prepped my next clip for me. He gave me the segue. All right, so this is from the movie 1984, and this is actually 2 minutes of hate. If nobody knows what this is, and so the way it works is, as part of their indoctrination and brainwashing bit, they always have a boogeyman, and in this case, they in the novel 1984, it's an individual by the name of Emmanuel Goldstein. Okay, and so here we go. So they meet for 2 minutes a day, and they do this. They have 2 minutes of hate to hate on this one particular individual, which would be the political boogeyman, right? It doesn't even matter who it is, if it's even a real person, but this is what they do, and this is what the media says and does, and there you go. Thanks for the great prompt on the 2 minutes of hate, Austin. Here's what the media looks like today. Action.
But even as we grasp at victory, there is a cancer, an evil tumor, growing, spreading in our midst. Shout! Shout! Shout out his name!
Nothing the party does is good. Even the world stands is good. The party wants you to believe we are at war, so as to turn your attentions away from their rightful
Okay, I'm going to kill the sound here, but you get it, right? So they're all in an auditorium, and they put up Emmanuel Goldstein, the boogeyman, right? The person they're supposed to hate, and he actually shows up in the book. He accosts Big Brother. He does something terrible to Big Brother, and which is of course the anti boogeyman. He's the savior, and so everything is polarizing. There's good, right, and there's bad. That's it. Again, like newspeak. Everything is so binary that there's no nuance. There's no way to discuss the things like we're discussing, like we always discuss. There's no nuance allowed. It's either binary good or binary bad, and that's newspeak, and that's how they control everything. And this is 2 minutes of hate. They get together and they bond by hating. And there's Ingsoc for the party. Ingsoc is the name of the party. You get it, right? If you haven't seen the movie, first read the book, of course, if you can. If you guys don't know anything about this, see the movie. This stuff is amazing. This stuff is, and again, okay, so Austin said, this is, like he again complimented me, said I'm more level-headed than anybody in the news, right? Why? Why is that the case? Because I'm not a propagandist. I'm not on the take from some dick trying to say, push this agenda. Like, we're trying to get together and talk about these things and make something of the scattered BS information that they try and feed us all the time, right? Like, that's what this is about. And that, instead of the 2 minutes of hate, they get together and it's an exercise as they hate and they hate and they hate and they hate. It's division and it's binary. It's good and it's bad. You have good, you have bad. That's it. Double plus good is newspeak, because they don't want vocabulary. Because when you have vocabulary, you can express nuance, and ideas are not solely black and white. They are not binary, right? So anyway, there we go. I mean, crazy. This a great call, great prompt. It led right into that, and that's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the Booger Man now. Everything's from the Booger Man. Okay. So anyway, got some good chat there. All right. Now let me look at this. Look at this. You would think Germany has learned their lesson, right? Right? Like the past 80 years, you would think Germany has let's go to World War I. The past 100 years, you would expect Germany has learned their damn lesson, right? Let's go to this. Let's look at this article. So we just came from 2 minutes of hate. Here's more what the F is going on here. Reported by thetelegraph.co.uk. Germany will issue coronavirus antibody certificates to allow quarantined to re-enter society. One more time. I'll read that better. Germany will issue coronavirus antibody certificates to allow quarantined to re-enter society. Researchers to test thousands for immunity as Berlin plans exit strategy for pandemic lockdown. Who was it in saying that they got a letter from their work that said they were essential? That said they're allowed to pass checkpoints with this paper, right? And then you were calling them, whoever's out there, you know who you are. I can't remember. Keeping all the names straight in all the comments is I'm not a computer, but fantastic comment. Somebody said they got this paper that allows them to pass checkpoints because their job is essential, and he called them his Nazi papers. I may have said that on Discord or chat. I have no idea, but you get the point, right? Like like we may as well have the scarlet letter, right? Like emblazoned across your chest, or God forbid, the Star of David, right? Like what the hell's going on here? Is this really where we're at? Is this really what like they say in Star Wars, right? Is this what the destruction of liberty comes down to, right? To thunderous applause. It's this is unbelievable. Like, really? So we're gonna actually, again, back to that post on Reddit, right? The medical industrial complex and draconian measures, and the police state actually backing this stuff up and enforcing this. This is if this isn't terrifying to you, I do not know what to tell you. I think we need to talk more. I think we need to listen to more. I think we need to look into more of this. Anyway, here we go. So the article reads, German researchers plan to introduce coronavirus immunity certificates to facilitate a proper transition into post-lockdown life, as Chancellor Angela Merkel's handling of the crisis has led to a boost in the polls. That's all we needed, right? A boost in the polls for her. It continues. The antibodies will indicate that the test participants have had the virus, have healed, and are thereby ready to re-enter society and the workforce. The researchers plan to test 100,000 members of the public at a time, issuing documentation to those who have overcome the virus. Oh, I laugh, but it's morbid. Is this morbid? This is sick, guys. This is sick. Anyway, real quick, back to the snitching. So I kind of jumped the gun there because we had the call. But here's another one. So City Hall launches a coronavirus snitch line. They did this in London, right? This actually happened. And they're getting, dozens or hundreds of emails and calls a day. I think it's hundreds a day. They're snitching, right? Like, back again, right? And then we have so we have snitching on each other, right? And if anybody's read 1984, you'll know that people are terrified of their own children because their children snitch, because they're part of the junior spies, they're called, right? And they hate Emmanuel Goldstein and the opposition to the party, right? And so here we are. We're at the point where we're snitching on each other with snitch lines. And Canada is threatening, don't make us put out the snitch lines. Oh, shit, I tell you what. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see. What else? What else do we got here? Yeah, exactly. Kurt says, fudge, literally papers, please. Again, let me see your papers, right? again, right? Like I said, have we not learned from this, one way or the other? Gregory says unglaublich. I don't know what that means. I don't speak German. If you can translate, I love the translation. Steven says Pandora's box. Yeah, this is crazy, right? Like, this is insane. Like, again, it's a fascinating conversation to me. Liberty and autonomy versus this type of draconian type of stuff by the state. You know, like, what is best for humanity? Is it the individual or is it not? Right? Are individual people with individual thoughts the best for humanity? Is the question here, right? That's the question that enters my mind all the time. And of course, right? Think about it. With no individuality, I'm not doing this. You're not listening to this. We're not here building a strong, intelligent community that understands what's going on in the world. This is not happening if we're not allowed to be individuals, right? It's not. It's not allowed. And, I think I come down hard on the individuality. I think that we should err on the side of liberty. Like I said, I hate to preach that way. I've been a little preachy tonight. I apologize. It just happens. It comes out of me sometimes. But, like I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, how do you live your life, But that's the beauty of this. You should be able to decide for yourself. That's really what it comes down to. All right. So anyway, Germany issuing coronavirus antibody certificates. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, here we go. Here's more. This is from thehill.com.
Rhode Island police have begun.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Maybe we'll play this video. Maybe we won't. Okay, here we go. Pasting this in. You guys can follow, as always, follow my links here as I put them down for you. Because I'm not making this shit up. This shit's being reported by people. Right, wrong, or indifferent, fake news, or spin, or whatever it is, it's being reported by somebody, right? And so it's our job to consume it and to parse it and to make our own decision about how much BS this is. Reported by thehill.com. Rhode Island police and the National Guard begin stopping cars with New York plates and going door to door to enforce quarantine. Wow. That sounds awful. A lot like, I don't know, any regime in history that's been, what would you call them? Dictatorships, right? Like actual, door to door, right? Like I said, boots on the ground means boots on your neck. And here's where we're at. Rhode Island stopping cars only for having New York plates. I'm sorry, that's a gross violation of the Fourth Amendment. You can fuck right off, and that's that. No, you don't get to do that. You don't have the liberty to do that to me. Sorry. I don't live on that side of the country, but sorry. It's not happening that way. We're not doing this, okay? This will never stick in court, so why the hell are they doing it? Because they know they can get away with it, right? I hope they get their balls sued off and bankrupt that entire state. Sorry if you live in Rhode Island. This is ridiculous. No thank you. Here's more. Reported by ABC 7 New York. Check this out. Social distancing. You guys heard of this? I'm sure you have. Look what's happening in New York. I asked Austin there when he called in what was New York was looking like. Check this out. Again, reported by that ABC 7 New York. Coronavirus news. Social distancing is not happening on the New York City subway. Yeah, it's not happening. So MTA has reduced service because of the enormous drop in ridership, but at least during rush hour, riders seem to be placed in unsafe, overcrowded environments on subway, trains, and buses, right? Yeah. So, yeah, here we go. Here's one example. There you go. That's what it looks like. Train stations still packed with people. So they've actually have a lack of drivers for the trains here, and so as a result, they have less trains on the tracks, and there's still people that have to go to work, right? And they have to get there, and you're not going to wait 4 hours to find an empty train, like these are things that people should be thinking about, and no, they're not. But here we go. Not to be outdone, one of our favorites, De Blasio, which is the mayor of New York City. He's this is reported by The Hill again. I'm going to link this and you guys can check it out. He says, police will pull riders from crowded New York subway cars. Yeah, how about that? If you get on the subway and there's too many people there, they're going to just grab you and yank your ass off, right? Like what is this? Let's read part of this. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said Monday that New York Police Department officers will pull people out of a crowded subway train as the city continues to grapple with the coronavirus pandemic. Quote, the PD is going to go out there. If they see any overcrowding, they're going to literally split up, pull people off the train, move them along into different cars or whatever it takes, said de Blasio on Monday in an interview with New York One. This is literally about protecting people's lives. Is it? Is it really? Is it really? It's sick, right? Like, where the hell are we? Where are we? Here we go. We got some good, let's see, good chat here. Again, if you guys want to call, you got takes on this. We're near the end. We gone a little long, but I got some stuff to get through. I'll play a couple more clips, but we got time for you. If you want to call, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. You can give us a call that way. Join the Discord. Go to troubledminds.org, and you can be part of the show that way as well. Join the Discord if you have not. Lots of good conversation goes on there as we continue. And that's that. Gregory What's Up says, but what if you did not have the virus? Are they going to expose you just to initiate you into the system? Exactly, right? That's the point. So they're going to like carve you off like a slice of cattle, like a dozen at a time, and inoculate you with the coronavirus? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff. Unglaublich equals unbelievable. Okay, call in and tell me how to say that. I'd love to know how to speak German. Let's see. Sean, the soapbox is sturdy for you, Mike. Thanks. Appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Kurt says that's profiling. It's cool now, though, after 9/11 is implemented, MFers. Yeah, it's true, though, right? Like, profiling's cool now. It's all good. Like, we don't need a Fourth Amendment. We just need you to look a certain way or have a certain license plate, right? Or not have your papers. Your papers, please, right? You see what's happening here. And this is what I'm saying. Just like the Patriot Act that they never gave back, right? Of course, there's, again, nothing's binary. There's nuance to everything. But, right, they gave back some part of the Patriot Act. But some of the things like that FISA court, it's still rolling, right? It's still doing dirty shit behind the scenes. There's some things they didn't give back, and they need to. Okay, so let's see what else. Let's see. Good comments here. Thanks, guys. Kurt says, "Oh no, we couldn't profile the airline bombers, the effing Mooskies." I don't know what that means. If that's a slur, I didn't say that. Somebody else said that. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Don't work that way. Anyway, I'm just saying. Just for the cancel crowd, for the George Soros Media Matters. If you heard me say that, well, fuck off. I don't know what it means, so I'm going to claim ignorance. Okay, but you get the point, right? Let's do another clip or two of 1984 as we finish this up. And again, right, we have time, guys. We don't have commercials. We don't have sponsors telling us what to say or what to do. We've got time. If you've got things to say, we've got time for you. So please call 702-957-1037. 7, go to troubledminds.org. That's the official website. You can find the phone number and the Discord link there. You can join us that way. Sean from Canada, our favorite Canadian, you said you were going to hop on here. You want to do that? We'll get you in. Let me know. We'll pull you in. And but yeah, so let's see. Is he on there? He said nope. Okay, yeah. Anyway. Okay, let's finish this up. I've got a couple more 1984 clips that I think are super pertinent to what we're talking about here. And I don't know. Did I make the case? Do you think that we live in 1984 land, this new dystopia? And if not, are we ever so close where our feet, like our toes, are on the edge of the cliff, and all we need is a pandemic to bump us over the edge? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. All right, let's see. So why does this Orwell business still matter? Right? Why does it still matter in today's age? Let's find out.
War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. 1984 is a book about a rebellion that fails, and the rebel knows he's going to fail. It's the most famous dystopian novel, but it's also a thriller and a love story, and in times a horror story. As Orwell knew, he didn't have the imagination of a great novelist. He was not very good at sort of conjuring things up. The texture of Airstrip 1 was inspired by London after the war, when it was still blitz damaged. The texture of the Ministry of Truth was based on his time working for the BBC. The destabilizing of the idea of truth had come to him when he fought in the Spanish Civil War and saw the news reports in many of the papers, particularly the Stalinist papers, just bore no resemblance to what he'd seen. Ingsoc was basically a satirical exaggeration of totalitarianism, of things that Orwell had learned about Hitler's Germany and Stalin's Russia. So it is oppressive on multiple levels. You have the thought police that basically arrest people for things that they haven't even done yet. You have surveillance through the two-way telescreen, and then you have the most pernicious form of all, which is doublethink, which basically teaches people to believe two contradictory things and to have lost faith in objective truth.
In Newspeak, the whole notion of goodness and badness will be covered by 6 words.
There's a new form of language called Newspeak, which is designed to limit the range of thought, to rewrite history and to rewrite reality.
We're not only inventing words, we're destroying them. Scores of them, thousands every day.
He was identifying these pernicious habits in the way that we talk, and which could lead democracies down a very dark path. There's no word for freedom. How do you describe freedom?
You see what I was saying earlier? So they removed from the vocabulary in Newspeak the word freedom. It doesn't exist. And so when you strip these thoughts and these ideas from the vocabulary, and people can't explain them properly, they may as well not exist, right? You have to reinvent the wheel. Terrifying. 2 more clips and we're done. If you guys, we have time for you. If you want to be part of the show, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. Going to put it up one more time and play. So why the second part of this clip? Why does it still matter? And funny, right? So he said that while working for the BBC, he came up with the idea, the Ministry of Truth. Well, right here, we're playing clips from the BBC. Part 2 action.
Surveillance is now at a level which was unimaginable in Orwell's time. The image of the two-way telescreen is so powerful and seems so prescient, and Orwell didn't understand the technology. He didn't own a television set like most people in Britain at that time. But he knew that the desire to surveil people was so powerful that whatever new technology came along, it was going to be used in that way. When the BBC did the first televised version of 1984 in the 1950s, it caused outrage and many viewers were horrified and scared. The director afterwards said one of the reasons was people still weren't used to having televisions, and the idea of a big brother staring down the lens out of the television was really unnerving in a drama which features the telescreen. It's just strange that that's what I'm doing now, and it's perfectly normal, and hopefully nobody is going to be terrified by me. Within a few years of the book coming out in the 1950s, people were talking about the doublethink and the thought police and Big Brother, and obviously over time that means that you get these very bizarre sort of travesties of the meaning. The Big Brother TV series or the BBC TV series Room 101. When you do see these words, go back to the text and go, well, what did he really mean by the thought police? It's not, as some people suggest, political correctness. It's a bit worse than political correctness. There is so much in the book that different aspects of it come to the surface at different periods in history. So when it came out throughout the 1950s, it was seen as a study of totalitarianism and as a critique of Stalinism, which is true. But then as the Soviet Union began to weaken in the late 70s and in the 80s, people became far more interested in the technology, which is not actually a huge part of the book, but they became fascinated that it was a warning against computer databases and closed-circuit TV cameras. And what's happened recently, people are going to it for what it says about truth and flagrant lies and the nature of exerting power by distorting reality. And for a book to have these sort of multiple meanings so that it seems relevant at very different times in history for different reasons is remarkable, and perhaps not something that he would have expected.
Yeah, so you see, right? You see how things progress. You see how, notice how he defended political correctness there. He's like, oh, this Newspeak is not political correctness. Not that. It's this other thing. It's more sinister than that, right? But of course, in 1984, that's not how it starts, right? You don't just turn the language upside down and throw it out, right? It starts somewhere. And funny, he's talking about 1984 in Newspeak, and then somehow defending political correctness, which is basically what George Carlin say: fascism with manners. in the guise of manners. It's the truth. Larry, what's up? Listening to 1984 Troubled Minds, watching Skinwalker Ranch, getting a mind buzz. Right on, my man. Right on, my man. Good stuff. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I know it's a long show. We're gonna wind this up in one sec. The final thought, right? The final thought is not mine. This doesn't come from me. This comes from George Orwell himself in his final interview. We've played this clip before. And we're going to finish on this tone. If you guys, we got time for you. If you guys want to call one more time, I'm going to put the number up, and you can be part of the show. 702-957-1037. You can give us a call and join the Discord. You can find both the number and the Discord at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. And actually, I've got a phone call to play. I'm going to play that as well. Somebody called in, and I want you to know this number is persistent. That phone number is persistent. So if you call at midnight tonight after we're done or something, it'll leave us a voicemail. You got 3 minutes and it'll cut you off. So say what you got to say in 3 minutes. But I'm going to play a clip to wind this out. Actually, let me play that phone call first, and then we'll play the final clip here to end this. But I had this call on March 31st, and I'm not sure what to make of it. But let's see what you guys think. This is from somebody that called at 2 a.m. I think this might be the first official Troubled Minds booty call. And if you're out there, I'm in jest. Have a good sense of humor with us. Here we go. Let's play this.
Hey, I was trying to see what you were trying to ask for and get answers to. I'm just leaving a message. And we here. It's a little more complex than the basic comprehension. But yeah, we're good. Decade out.
Okay, well, again, like I said, I don't know what to make of that exactly, but thanks for calling. And it's an example to everybody that the phone number is persistent. So you can leave me. You can drunk dial me at 3 a.m. It's all good. And we'll play it on the show. I always forget to mention the number is persistent. So if you call when we're not online, you'll just leave a voicemail. So anyway, there we go. So there's the phone call, and here's the final thought from George Orwell himself, after being pretty much probably the modern day Nostradamus, if you ask me, and describing what the future will look like. Just not with exact specifics. There's pretty decent parallels with the telescreen, which is what our smart TVs and our smartphones and our tablets and our Google Homes and our Amazon Alexas and all this other stuff, right? This surveillance technology that not only is a resource for us, right? We watch it. We get information from it, right? Whatever that data happens to be. But on the other hand, it also watches us. Yeah. George Orwell was a prophet, in my opinion. Here we go. Here's what he says. How do we stop this? This is the last interview conducted by George Orwell. We played this clip before, and we're going to play this, and then we'll finish the sucker up. Thanks again for sticking with us, guys. It's a long show. Subject matter is kind of dense sometimes, but I think we got to do it. It's important. Here we go. Last clip. Action.
I'm not absolutely dissatisfied with it. I think it is a good idea, but the execution would have been better if I had not been under the influence of TB when I wrote it.
You once claimed that you have an ability to face unpleasant facts. Is that what you've demonstrated in 1984 by drawing an accurate portrait of the future?
I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
There you go. I don't think you can say it better than that. Like, it's a man who understands, who's thought deeply about the philosophy of individuality. And let's see, that's a great comment up here. I gotta dig this out. Kurt says, and this is important, right? And so just saying these things probably in sequence will put us on a list, but I'm going to say it anyway. Kurt says, freedom, liberty, justice, individual, all key words. And those are words that are probably on a list. Those are words that will probably put you on a list, and that should tell you everything you need to know. So there we go. Yep, exactly. Gregory abolished the orgasm? Oh, hell no. And so the point, of course, is that the party will, the boot stamping on the human face forever, meaning you remove all joy from life. You remove all autonomy, all freedom and liberty, just like Kurt said there. Yeah, crazy stuff, right? Yeah, Gregory, that is a call to arms. Always the comedian, Gregory. I know you understand what I'm talking. You speak the same language I do. Okay, here we go. We're at the end of this. Again, if you guys want to call, we'll squeak you in and get you on the phone here. But we're done. This is the end of it. And what do you think? Do you think that given the information that we've talked about tonight, some of the news articles, some of the clips from 1984, talking about the maybe suing the technocracy and the rest of that, do you think there's some sort of correlation? Do you think, like I said a couple times tonight, that we're on the precipice, our toes on the cliff, and it just takes one little push to kind of send us over the edge, and at which point we can never come back? It'll change my mind if they actually repeal the Patriot Act in full. But I don't think we'll go there. I don't think it's right. Once they get it, they keep it. And that's why we should be terrified of our governments. And just look to Germany. Your papers, please. I laugh. It's not funny. But here we go. We're done. Which means we play the outro music. Which means you're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Again, I know it's a long show. I know sometimes that the subject matter is dense. It's important. We'll do some fun stuff next. We'll talk about some paranormal, some aliens, or some other stuff. But you gotta mix this stuff in. This stuff's important. One more time, it's not all about newspeak. Everything is not binary, right? We should be able to convey complex thoughts between individuals, and the words I just said right there are incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. There is no double plus good. However, there are shades of gray, and we should be able to discuss those things. So that's it. We're at the end. If you guys love this show, if you're still here, you love this show. There's no doubt, right? Because I ramble a damn lot and give you a lot of time to bounce. But if you're still here, love back. Right back at you. I appreciate you guys sticking through. And at the end of it, if you want to help out, no merchandise yet. We'll get that up eventually. I promise. For right now, though, you can leave us a review. You can tell somebody about the show. So we had that smart guy call from New York. His name was Austin. Just heard of us. Just showed up tonight. Gave us a call. Spread the word. Tell somebody you think needs to hear this type of stuff. And we'll continue doing it. If you enjoy it, we'll continue doing it. That's the bottom line. So there we go. At the end, one more time, if you want to help us out, go leave us a review on iTunes. We've had a lot of great people do that. Feedback's been amazing. If you want to join the Discord in the community, troubledminds.org, click the Discord link. Remember, that number is persistent. You can call and leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. Simple as that. At the end, 1984 or 2020? All right, we're done. Catch you on Tuesday night. Watch out for YouTube videos. I'm putting up videos. I'll link them in Discord if you want the first chance to watch them. And as of this moment, good night. From my troubled mind to yours. Have a fantastic evening.